And
All right.
On the sheep.
Here we go.
sleepy session.
And
morning,
that's setting
good
the
night.
tone for this entire thing. So, who wants to recap?
Last time we got to the courtyard of the temple. Well, the time before last time. And everyone was given side eyes to Alsana.
For obvious reasons.
As we're kind of sneaking in, we know that the what's the big worm called? I don't remember now.
Bitch worm.
The big worm was
Neophilid.
Neophilid, was hanging around somewhere, just we don't know where, and the Elder Brain, who Alsana was kind of having a walkie-talkie with, didn't know either. However, with a bit of a nature survival thing, realized it does not have a burrow speed, so it's just been kind of sliding around tunnels rather than burying its way through its own.
Which is gross.
Yep, but at the very least, it's not going to come from below on us. And we eventually ran into it and had a little bit of a combat. I'm getting hit by side notes and dice notes.
Right.
Bastard tried a feeble mind. It didn't work, and then Calder got 8. And then we put it down before Calder exploded fully out of it, mechanically. And sorry why she did, absolutely. Elder Brain is very happy. And Alsana's head. Alsana gotta explain she needs to be discreet with things, and quote Ty's notes, "Excuse me, young lady."
Okay.
That's fair.
Because I feel like this is partially Calder perspective.
Partially?
Yeah, well, some of it is Ty's perspective, and some of it is "Excuse me, young lady."
To be fair, they were a bit of a mingled crew.
But damn it, no one is willing to let her go in alone. And they tried to spell magic and cleansing touch on her, and it does nothing because she's trying to put on an action. It wasn't working. Elder Brain, Elder Brain, lets us in because there's a bit of a force field that we initially can't go through, but then we can. Kane goes up ahead.
I was like, oh.
There's a little note for me here, directed towards me by name. Vaguely. But it's Alsana is basically looking for some tadpoles, and the Elder Brain gives Alsana a roadmap to them. We get into a large room with a big skull, a tentacle shapes, and some real H.R. Geiger shit. There's some worked glass that is in the shape of a brain on the large construction. And then Calder gives Alsana a bear hug and wants to talk. And the Elder Brain starts talking to everyone. Kane goes nope and starts trudging up towards it. We see some floating wriggly guys. And then with some back and forth dialogue, Kane hucks the javelin of lightning, or at least fully intends to on initiative. We fight the mind witnesses and the Elder Brain. It's a fun little combat of where in the world is the Brain San Diego. There is a wall of force that we eventually get through because the brain switches to concentrating on something else. We break through the glass, but it's not quite the oh hey it's there. It's kind of a smaller brain that's zooping around a pool.
Zoopin is a generous description of that brain's movement speed.
Floating.
Yeah.
It was enough that we couldn't find it.
Yep. It took like 3 turns to move from its initial position to that little hidey place.
And then
It's a floating brain. That's pretty fast.
Mm.
And then Alzana goes, all right, and basically sous vide the brain with incendiary cloud.
Yep.
I swear you're doing it on purpose now.
What?
The yawning.
Not. There's a bit of a back and forth talking confrontation.
As usual.
As usual. Ending with Alsana grabbing some of the tadpoles and collecting some of the stuff from the brain and from the worm. And we decide to give a final scout around the city as the last thing we did last session. Because it is a whole entire city.
Mm-hmm. It is fairly sizable. It's not enormous. You'd be able to scout it out in probably just a few hours, and most of that would be spent in navigating through some of the more dangerous areas without coming to harm or having an accident.
Could Alsana perhaps make a check? Just a
What kind of
curiosity. Just a curiosity. Is the ambient effects of this place with the telepathy stuff going on and the telepathy effects on other creatures and stuff it's having, is that going to persist? Is that just permanently marked on this area, or is it going to fade with time now that the Elder Brain is no more?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Sure thing.
And of course guidance applies because you were actively thinking about it. So I'm sure that you went into this with a little bit of planning. 24. All right, a little hard to say. Given that the words have failed me, the haunting effect, the paranoia effect, ended, it seems, pretty immediately with the Elder Brain's death. That at least was a direct one-to-one tie. However, there's still a little bit of a lingering hum in the air, a little bit of an itch, not in the same way. That
Okay.
I'm going to say on a 24, it's not quite enough to say for certain whether this is something that's sort of like a Lair effect that takes some days or weeks to subside, or whether it is a natural regional effect that perhaps enticed the Mind Flayers, the Illithids, to settle here in the first place, potentially.
Okay. Could she potentially, at another point in time, do a little bit of research to the area to determine that?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you could probably do a little bit more research into Illithids in particular. Maybe the Redstone Peaks.
Well, I also meant like I don't know, like sample analysis and stuff of the area.
Oh yeah. You're down here, you can take samples of whatever you probably would like. Chips of rock, some lichens that are growing about, stuff from that gardeny area.
Could she like do either like a nature and alchemy or something check just to like determine good things that would be worth observing over time to see if those effects persist?
I would suggest that that would be something that you do when you're better able to sit down with and kind of spread out your various implements.
Okay, fair enough.
But it would definitely be something that you could do.
Okay. Because, and just to let out the line of thinking, this place, like it's said multiple times that there's Underdark stuff here, but it is not very close to the Underdark.
Mhm.
So if the effects kind of fade after a while, I mean, we dug a route for the people here.
Yep. Yeah, probably your best bet for determining something like this would be to collect samples of living things. There might be something in the water. Go ahead and grab a bit of that. You can just grab an assortment of lichens. You know where a lot of mushrooms are. Though the magical ones are going to have their own results. They're separate. Yeah, you know that. There were the beetles. If you want to catch a couple of those. Yeah, Calda could probably get some toadstools. Do you want magical ones or non-magical ones?
Can I get a little bit of both?
All right.
Bit of a medley.
Okay. Let's
Mhm.
see. I don't think that you're. Are you proficient with a herbalist or? Okay.
No.
Okay. In that case, I'll go ahead and have you make a wisdom check.
Mm-hmm.
No proficiency. To try and gather them without spoiling. All right, 10. Well, you gather up one non-magical toadstool and one magical from that one region, that upper room. Maybe this is later if there's other things you specifically want to look into in the city. They seem to be okay. Alsana, you kind of look over and that could have been better cut, but at the very least it's not spoiled or anything.
Okay. I was more of a curiosity of like if her passive is like, oh no, do not take that one. If you touch it, that's gonna be like all the nerves in your hand for the day or something.
Mm-hmm. You do kind of do a double take as you realize that while Calda borrowed the knife from your kit, she did not borrow the gloves, and then you realize, oh, she's wearing gauntlets as part of her armor.
Okay.
Okay.
Carl's gonna like give them to Alsana, the toadstools, and just go, these are good for your little potion list, right?
Tells her head, how do you mean?
Well, I remember the list you wrote for Miss Nettie the Hag, and it did say you needed toadstools, but I think they need to be dried, so I wanted to get some for you.
I'll be honest, I haven't given much thought to it as, well, quite frankly, I don't think we're going back there until we're done with the matter at hand, but...
well, I just wanted to make sure you still want them. Yeah. The more we mark off that list now, the less there is to do later.
I didn't think we were doing all of it.
Oh. There's less rules for post-game, I don't know.
Kane, on that, you slap your hand down on top of a rock, on top of a beetle on the rock, and for a moment you think, oh no, I squished it. I feel something under my palm. Because it was right on it, and you didn't see the beetle escape. You kind of lift your palm, and the lump that you fell was just a lump in the rock, but there's a little crack in the rock that the beetle seems to have escaped into.
He will put the rock in his pocket very happily.
When I say rock, I don't mean pebble.
Oh.
I mean boulder. I'm sorry.
Fair. Sorry, I thought you meant I used a rock to try to catch the beetle.
Oh no. You saw a beetle on a rock, and...
okay.
Like, did like a smash of the cupped hand kind of thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Except the hand didn't end up cupped, and you thought for a moment you killed it, but it escaped. It's gone.
Okay.
And then the beetle comes back and like rolls a rock off a cliff above you, down onto you.
And one more of the flies.
There's a little pebble go dunk up the top of your head. No.
I bet Kane could get squished by a boulder in that, actually.
Anyways,
Yeah, sorry, separate thought.
In the greater town itself, Alsana's gonna flick on her glasses.
Okay.
And she's basically just going to be moving with the group and then just, actually might take Alaris on the broom as Kane and Calda kind of tread along.
Okay.
And anytime they stop by anytime there's like a building, Alsana will very quickly like zoop in, give a quick look around, zoop out. Not going to take too long, but also like just like in the door, pause, look around. If anything catches eyes, go back.
All right. So to keep it from taking too long, every building, they're not identical. Each one seemed to have its own particular setup, its own particular array of furnishings, doors, windows, equipment, whatever. You don't come across anything that strikes you as the standard loot. In fact, a lot of it is very alien, strange, almost incomprehensible. You come across the occasional body, skeletons with arms and fingers that are just a little too long, skulls that are not fully shaped like humanoids.
She'll take some of those.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, the skulls?
Yeah, the bones, skulls. Yeah, she'll take some illithid bones.
All right. I'll say that. How many are you going to talk Kane into taking in the bag of holding?
Like a bundle.
Yeah, he's so used to doing this. You kidding me? He doesn't even question it.
Yeah,
All right.
like a bundle and a skull.
Okay, so
The
one skull and a bundle of bones.
Yep.
Sounds good. It's not a full intact skeleton necessarily, but
Yeah,
you got
she'll
this
just
work.
pick from the ones
Okay.
there for intact pieces.
Put down in the bag one bundle illithid bones, include one skull.
Yeah, I just have a collection of all the bones and skull.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
also putting specifics down on mine as well for like alchemical stuff. So
Okay.
because I have illithid bones, a bundle, and illithid skull.
Came my adventure catcher like, hey, pass one of the like thighs or something.
Sure.
like-
What for?
Just I don't know, want something to fiddle with.
She goes, "That's like, and illithid bones scratching that itch for you?"
Like I couldn't catch the beetle. It got away from me.
Well, I clearly see the line in logic there, and just hands it over.
Kane will just while they walk, just basically play the drums on his breastplate.
Yeah, a real question about like something that may not matter. It does not matter now, but we are in a place where like on the mirror world, I'm looking on the list on the Nettie's list just because I want to see what we could cross off. And can I get a clarification on the definition of murderer?
Oh, I love that.
Ah.
question.
I mean, that depends on the weight of the clarification, I suppose, because I don't know exactly.
What my thing is, because you said extra potent if said murderer was ever necromantically revived from said grave, if technically a monarch could be considered a murderer for making choices that lead to their subjects' deaths, if we could get the graves from either the king of Umbar, the person of Umbaran who just got revived, or the queen of Pridwen who we're like okay with, and get the dirt from that grave and still be considered a murderer's grave.
I'm gonna say no on that one. In this context, a murderer is a little more hands-on.
Okay.
It is the wanted poster brand.
I wanted to see if
It's
I
an
could
interesting
get a little sprinkle a little bit of Marxism in there.
Oh, it's
Would
an
it be possible
interesting thought, but
Would it be possible for us to revive Mirror Good to 1 HP and then just immediately kill him?
No.
No.
I'm gonna say no because I'm pretty sure Alsana put Duskbell in his mouth, so that is
Furthermore,
the
like
one
fuck,
door.
you're reviving anyone of those guys.
Oh, sorry. That's who we
Also-
could throw the line at. Okay.
Yes.
I
Because-
know. I'm fucking with you. It's fine.
Also, it would have to be a necromantic revival, so into a zombie, that kind of thing. Rather
Oh, I have so
Yeah.
many undead body parts in my bag. Hold on.
Of murderers?
I don't know about that, but like I'm sure this.
you need the dirt from the grave, not the body part.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, did you know? Did you have the criminal records too? Because otherwise, it's just a bunch of bones, anyways.
Yeah, I served their dirt on top of the papers.
Anyways,
Okay,
Can-
yeah, I just wanted to see how much I could sprinkle in some stuff.
can Alsana find any like illithid specific implements she could recognize, and anything that might be useful? Any information, any tomes or anything?
They don't seem to have any books at all.
Okay.
I'll say that on previous rolls about illithids, you know that their method of writing and of conveying information through that medium was very unlike anything that humanoids tend to go towards. They don't write things down. They create patterns that are sensed psychically and through the tentacles on their face. And so no, there are no books.
Also, they would just back up
however-
everything to the big old hard drive that is the Elder Brain.
That too. However, kind of on that front, you know that by and large they tend to be each one individually some kind of researcher into something or other. Not always things that you would be perhaps personally interested in. But you wouldn't be surprised if you'd found out somehow that that garden area had been the research project of an illithid or maybe a small group of them interested in botany.
Fair
Or
enough.
perhaps even interested in the psychological ramifications of various plants and so on and so forth and walking through them, or things like that. They sometimes get a little esoteric. However, I will say that zooping around...
What is the mental effects of tiptoeing through the tulips?
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably an illithid research paper, except not phrased that way. You might come across something of a very old illithid alchemy laboratory that might have a few implements that you recognize and could use.
Yeah, just as a flavor thing, she will add that to her repertoire.
All right.
I've never heard of a triple helix ambilic. This'll work.
Hey, those of you with fancy eyes, do you see any, like, weapons or money?
And she shakes her head.
Magic?
From my understanding, it's much like their lack of books. They have very different values. Also, psionics was the weapon of choice, and unfortunately, tap tap, the skull is empty.
Oh, if you want one more on Kane's question, Alsana, go ahead and do either history or arcana check, just to
Sure.
see how much detailed information I dropped there.
Kane's just had
17.
loot.
Horrifying, thank you, Ty. 17. Yeah, Kane looking for loot. The illithids didn't really care for money. They had no bother with it. If they had anything of value, it was probably for scientific purposes, like researching the light waves going through a gem or something, and that's a stretch. 2, for weapons, they didn't really bother with a lot of that, and the few weapons that they did bother with were typically psionically linked to a particular illithid or illithid thrall upon being made, and could not be used by anybody else. You may come across like a small area that has like the remnants of creating these things, these implements, a cross between a forge and a horrible laboratory with like a table and straps and stuff.
Oh, if we do come across that, Kane is taking every single tool in there.
Okay, you can have an assortment of illithid forging tools.
I'll say before they when they walk in there to us, I'll just be like, 1 second, let me just note down how everything is here first.
Yep, just catalog it. Go ahead. I need something.
Yep,
I was got killed. I need something to show for it.
Yep, and so Alsana will just like onto research papers. Like this was here, this was here.
Yep. Kane, go ahead and give me a quick perception check.
Fantastic. I'm actually decently good at those.
That's
Maybe
always
don't.
the worst thing to say before rolling one.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not expecting to roll anything good today.
Is Kane looking for anything, or?
I'm just curious.
Okay.
15, okay. You might come across something of interest. You come across... They are not constructed, put together. But you come across laid out on a little work surface, kind of under a rotten, moldering sheet. These rods of metal, kind of arranged in the shape of a forearm, hand, long fingers tipped with claws.
Kid immediately looks up at as he's like shuffling shit into the bag and like, oh, hold on. How long do you guys think of me investigating the rest of the city?
Why do you ask?
I mean, it's an unfinished project right there, and I'm pretty good at Ford equipment. Well, let's see if I can figure something out.
What is the project looking like it's going to be?
It looks like
a
it looks like a clawed forearm and hand, except the pieces aren't fully put together. They're not fully jointed, and they don't seem sized right to go over somebody's arm and hand.
It's more like a bone structure?
It looks more like a bone structure, yeah.
Yo, Wolverine?
Could Alsana do a quick like medicine check? Like, does this look like they're making a prosthetic?
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Yeah.
Fuck off, that's a natural one.
20.
20. Alright, let me make sure that I'm not going to get a word wrong. I need to double check the name of this, because it is a thing. I am going through as quickly as I can.
I always forget that Ariel makes physical notes.
Alright. Note, this isn't from the books.
Ah.
Alright.
Oh,
Medicine check. So, these things were this was custom made to exact measurements for a particular creature, and you think you remember something about sometimes illithids would augment their thralls used for fighting a little bit more intensely than some others might. Whereas others, some of them would just give them normal weapons, a sword, shield, things like that.
Were they about to
Sometimes-
Wolverine a motherfucker?
Yeah, these are called flensing claws.
Yes. Those
The
are so
claws
cool.
are knitted into the flesh and bones of a creature's arms and can't be removed without surgical amputation.
Asana looks at these and goes, these were weapons they were set to sew into someone's forearm.
Why?
Oh, I could probably turn into a really badass flail.
Wouldn't that hurt the person?
Likely, if with their methods. I'm sure with proper anesthesia and a more better understanding into something like that, it might be able to be used in a reasonable sense, but I also get the feeling, if anything, they probably just numb the pain mentally through psionics on the thralls.
Or just generally were willing to be cruel.
That as well.
As a final note on earlier questions Kane had about loot, you know, Alsana, that they abhorred magic.
Mhm.
They had no value for magical items unless it was a very rare exception or a major psionic scientific curiosity to their minds.
In the same way that, like, you know, your standard human colony might be like, oh, demonology, it's like, generally not considered, but also there's those motherfuckers.
Yep.
Alright, yep, and she just... Also kind of like relays a bit of that, just muttering to herself out loud. Yep.
Well, I'm still gonna take it. I'm sure I can figure out something with it, like other than
I'm sure I
throwing
could
it
figure
away.
out a way to stick it in your arm if you cared to.
Nah, I've easier ways to get weapons out of nowhere. But I could, I mean, maybe. I could, like... The word wouldn't be weld, but I don't know what the foraging word would be. Welded into the gauntlet of a piece of armor. Replace some of the bones with metal, or reinforce them. Fun project.
You just use the metal for trim, I suppose.
Yeah, either way. Or to reinforce the actual sharp bit at the end.
Alright.
Maybe I... he looked at his shield! Wait a second!
Oh dear.
Also, I'm just gonna just, like, take notes down on the flensing claw and stuff like that too, just for our own, like, medical curiosity.
Alright.
Just, give me a bit to study those before you go, melting them down.
Yeah, no, I mean... You said they're mostly made of bone, right?
I thought it was metal.
It's metal.
Oh, metal? Okay.
They're metal, but they're made to knit into the bones.
Yep, they're in the shape of going into bones.
Sorry, I thought they were like metal reinforced to attach to bones, but I guess that makes more sense.
Nope.
Okay, he just kind of nods and... I mean, sure, but if I figured a cool way to put this onto a shield, I mean...
Yes, no, again, you can use the metal afterwards. I just want to take notes on it first.
To make your lantern shield a little bit more powerful, just have the fist in there.
But what if I have one lantern shield and one claw shield?
Oh.
And how do you use a weapon?
The claw and the lantern shield. It's got the punchy bit.
You have so many better weapons.
Yeah, but I also have way better defenses.
Do you use these two shields stack?
Technically, you can't do two shields because it's not light property, but... Kane is stupid, he doesn't know this. I mean, he does, but like... I just think it'd be really neat.
You could wear a party hat into combat too. Doesn't mean it's a good idea.
I mean, if you want to be a distraction, it's an excellent idea.
I did that once on my 20th birthday.
Really? Does it
Yeah.
work?
I was pregnant at the time. I don't know. It was just a bear.
Why were you going into combat while pregnant?
Because Corin and I like the rush of adventure.
And bears wait for no man.
Exactly.
so many things just clicked into place at the same time.
Anyways, we'll finish our sweep.
All right, you do so, evading the crumbling bits and kind of picking up scrap here and there, things of interest, but nothing that nothing more impactful, I think, than what you've already found.
Yeah, flavor
Okay.
curiosity more than anything.
Is there like a really shiny rock?
There is a really shiny rock. There are several.
I take a handful.
Okay.
Of
There's
them.
a small handful of shiny pebbles, like the multiple color shiny rock bin at
Actually-
the tourist store.
Question, just because I kind of know the sheets.
Mhm.
Is there any armor? Because I've seen a lot of Illithids and like Ulitharids, like it notes on the thing breastplate.
Mind Carapace armor. Requires attunement by a specific individual and cannot be worn by anybody else.
Okay. But we find it. In theory.
Let's see. Only one creature. Worn by any other. Oh, well, worn by any creature, the Mind Carapace armor functions as normal armor of its kind. So yeah, you probably do come across scraps of bits of armor here and there. Mostly simple things like breastplates.
Okay. Could we essentially work out a proper breastplate of these scraps? Like a set of armor's
mean-
worth of breastplate?
I mean, yeah, you could probably find like a fairly intact breastplate, other accoutrements, sure.
Okay.
I'm just gonna add Illithid breastplate to the bag.
Thank you. Because I have an idea.
I know you
Are
do.
you gonna make yourself a new breastplate?
I'm worried, but okay.
She's gonna swallow a tadpole to get better armor. I swear to God.
This is when I kill your spider,
You
Devin.
don't swallow it, you snort it. Come on.
Yeah, but if you're a coward, they can't survive your stuff.
I
They're
don't-
not strong enough to take control of you.
I always heard the horror story that they go into your eye.
Ear canal works just as well.
Don't.
That's an Olsana line. You stole my line.
Sorry.
Whose line is it anyways?
God.
Give yourself a lobotomy and
The
stick.
roleplay's made up and the
to the place.
fucking rolls don't matter.
Yeah, especially when you fucking also making a medicine check. Jesus Christ. When was the last time you failed a medicine check, Alsana?
When did we start the session? The campaign?
Right?
Uh,
Last April.
probably then.
Well,
Alright. On that, Alsana will grab the sending stone. And
Oh,
give
right.
a send over to what's her name?
Myra.
Myra.
ah,
Say we've killed a few things on our way back up.
all right. Got it.
Also should be safe.
Should be safe. All right, you pretty much just get a very brief affirmative. Everything is normal up here. We'll wait for you.
Thumbs up, red. 12:22 a.m. Alright, well then, shall we begin the trek back?
I suppose so.
And
Yeah.
let's.
Doesn't look like there's anything else fun here.
On the trek back, there is another region with some of those beetles. If anybody else wants to try their hand.
Kane
Yes.
is going to find. Let's see. I know I have something for this.
I was going to say, can Alsana do a quick nature check to just find some sort of nature alchemy something to basically go like, oh, I'll put some of this out and they'll be attracted to it.
Kane, in the meantime, is going to take the gold-rimmed drinking horn with gems in it and try to capture beetles in it.
Okay. All right. There's a lot going on.
Maury's gonna
Yes,
go.
Maury. Good. Okay. Here's how this is gonna go. Alsana, go ahead and make that make it a nature check because you can think of this on the way up, and you might be able to bring it up to the others. If there is anything.
I love how Kane's also catching cicadas in a Gucci bag.
Basically.
22. Okay.
Not
Um,
crack.
Oh dear. Let's see. Weren't you guys telepathic a little bit ago?
A little bit.
Alright, the beetles probably don't understand languages, but they do seem to respond to anything psychic, psionic, or telepathic. Now, that being said, you do know that that incurs risk of sending out tremors into whatever this region is, but
Also,
it's a
I
possibility.
was just trying to find like if they like honey and if they would be attracted to honey.
Okay.
That was my angle for it.
Gotcha.
I love the idea because it's so fun. She
I just
forgets
went,
about the hat thing.
magic!
Mhm.
No, not magic. Okay. Let's see. Another 22. They probably feed on some of these lichens, just because they seem to inhabit the general region of them a lot. That being said, I'm not sure that you'd really be able to... You could probably pick some and put it in the middle of a rock and see if any venture out towards it.
She'll do that.
Alright. So, I'll have Kane go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. The DC is slightly lower. It's not as much as worth advantage, though.
The
Okay.
worst.
No, you did better, because that first sleight of hand was a nat 1, remember?
Oh, that's right. I was thinking of the 15.
Yep, the cup clangs down. One might be caught under there. Now, the tricky part is getting it into your hand without lifting the cup and letting it escape.
Kane is
While
a
you
shit ton.
ponder that... Okay. While you figure that out, Mori, go ahead and have Mori do a similar sleight of hand dexterity check, but with advantage because owl.
Ooh.
13. Mori flies in, swoops down, snatches a beetle up in the claws, and swoops around. The beetle might be a little bit... It's not squished, but it might be a little bit traumatized, and also the shell might be a little bit cracked.
Like a cat with a rat, he's gonna like go fly and like sort of hover in front of Alsana.
So I was
Sorta
kind of like look at it sadly. She's gonna put her hand out.
Mori gobbles up the beetle.
Okay, makes a sad noise from the distance. Hold on, I got one over here.
Hold
Alright,
on.
you slide a piece of parchment underneath the cup, and flip it over, and you hear a little tunk as a beetle falls to the bottom of the goblet on the inside.
Yeah.
Can Alsana try to like very gently just like allow one on her hand or something?
Alright, since it's not grab and snatch, I'll say that this is adjacent to... I'll say this is close enough to animal handling that you're trying to gain a wild thing's trust.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And she'll answer herself.
Does Kane and Alsana have the exact same animal handling check?
No, I have a +6.
So do I.
Oh, okay.
13. Couple beetles kind of scurry close to your fingertips, but they don't venture onto them exactly.
Okay. Even if she puts a bit of lichen on the knuckles?
I'll say at that point, one ventures on, just to nibble at the lichen,
Yeah, then
and start to drag it off.
yeah, that's okay. That's all she wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't going to catch it. She just wanted like you like one will go on the finger and you go one finger to another finger and then put it back down.
Yep. Okay.
Does someone have a spare potion bottle?
Alsana probably.
Alsana blinks.
Can I have one?
I suppose.
Also on a
He'll take
freaking
it.
corner of her cloak, and there's a clink, clink, clink. The
Ah,
the illicit
I said
watch
that's the
salesman style.
Hey kids, want
What
some
are you
bottles?
buying?
wanna buy, you know? He'll gather up like a good amount of lichen. Put some in the bottle, put some in the bag,
Yeah.
and put beetle in the bottle.
You better treat
Okay.
that nicely.
You have one bottle beetle.
Why would I treat the beetle poorly?
Did you see the owl?
Do I look like an owl?
Mori burps.
Anyways.
Ugh,
Important question. How do you seal the bottle?
with a cork.
This
How
is Alsana's
airtight.
passive nature.
High enough.
Yeah. She looks like thing's gonna run out of air.
How quickly? It's a very small creature.
It takes us multiple hours to get back up.
Alsana will take 2 little needles, like hollow needles,
Mhm.
that are smaller than the beetle, and just stick them in the cork.
All right, air supply has been achieved.
And Kane will attach this to a little rope with a knot on it to his belt. He's very happy. And Fred.
Noted.
Can Alsana do another quick nature check?
4?
She's wondering if like a creature like this is good to be on its own and not part of a group.
He's a friend. He is part of a group.
Go ahead and make that nature check.
$27.
Given the psionic and not quite hive mind, but similar nature of these things, probably not good to isolate one from others of its kind that completely.
It might not be for the best to just have one on its own.
Oh, let's get more then.
Alright. I won't require any rolls, just how long do you want to spend catching beetles?
As we're just walking up, can Kane basically have like a running grab style of this and ask Mori to not eat them and bring it to him?
Oh.
Alsana will just look and go, "Don't trust that owl."
I trust that owl explicitly.
There like maybe a couple where Mori will like get them, and if it's a good enough dexterity sort of thing, he'll just like go and plop it in Alsana's hand.
Mori brings back... roll 1d4.
You got this, Mori.
Mori brings back 2 beetles uneaten. You're not entirely sure how many he caught, but did not retrieve.
How many does Kane manage to gather?
You go ahead and roll 1d4 as well.
How many did Kane eat?
You caught 1.
So a total of 4 beetles.
You've got a total of 4 beetles.
Now, Kane, I'll also remind
Yo.
you that bringing wildlife back home will not be conducive.
I'm gonna be honest, I genuinely don't expect them to live that long.
I would like them to.
Me too. I don't expect it, and if I do find them here and they cannot be brought back, then they cannot be brought back. But until then, I have a friend.
Could I offer an alternative? You can keep them on you for now.
Go ahead.
We could start a small little side colony up over in the Dawnbreak camp.
I mean, if they'd appreciate having some... What's probably a pest around? And maybe.
As long, if you have a decent-sized glass box, you could have a little colony.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Maybe the forest will like it, Deep Thicket. Or
Take it.
whatever forest. Maybe Deep Thicket or the forest where you were training in a while will enjoy it.
Again, invasive species, I'm hesitant.
We can ask them. It's in glass bottle tilling.
Anyways, we'll take the 4 beetles currently in the bottle for now.
Okay.
And make our way back.
Alright. So, you make your way back up. It's been probably close to a full day by now. Hard to say without really being able to see the sun, but internal clocks would suggest late afternoon, maybe evening. My goodness. Before
Ding,
you...
ding, 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 ding.
Oh, just stab myself in the foot, why don't I?
One of those days.
Before you finally emerge at the top of these various tunnels. You find the door that Alsana made in the rock. It's closed as it was shut behind you. You open it up, pass through that long, nearly square tunnel, and it seems by now that all of the muck and mud has indeed been shoveled out and carted off elsewhere. You emerge into that one room, that unused room of prior storage that you were initially given to spend the night in. And you see Myra sitting in a chair, looking down at a book she looks up and closes it as you approach. There's a couple of Daybreak members kind of hovering by the entrance. They had been playing cards, but you can see them picking the card game up and putting them back in their little box. And as the light of the lantern fills the room, you look up in the corner and you see a small glowing orb.
Well then. Calder?
Oh fuck! Is it a?
With that, it immediately winks out.
It's gone.
Myra, not seeming to notice, stands up and...
You were just
Good,
being
you're
scryed on.
back. I'm sorry, what?
In the corner, right there.
She looks up behind her, but it's gone.
What's happened
Looks
in this
back.
room in the
That's
last
not
hour?
good.
Hour. Really nothing. I've been reading. They've played some cards, and I do believe that one of them owes the other a full line of rations by now.
What have you been up to in this day?
Mostly waiting, shoveling mud, taking it out, spreading it about. Let me think.
Regardless, you should get those men back here and keep them separated from everyone else. They can now be scryed on as well, and because of that, each person they interact with has a risk also further who can be scryed on. But then one of them is possible to reveal you.
She holds up a hand. I remember what you told me about Alsana's capabilities in turning scries back. That particular ship may have already sailed.
Well, in that case, you have a whole new stronghold down there if you want. It's the ruined city of something. But
To be very honest, given how long it's been and how many times I've scryed and potentially had a scry placed upon me without realizing it, I highly doubt that they have figured out where we are.
But they
We
do
don't
know that we're
tend-
here with you. At least now they do.
But this now gives us great motivation to go murder her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well,
So as an update,
yes, please, and if you cut off the update halfway through, I won't blame you. I'll just assume a scry. And you just rattle off everything, yes?
Yep.
Okay. Myra nods along, and occasionally she'll bring up a question, and the story kind of, and you answer it and get back on track. She seems a little bit surprised, shocked to find
Shooketh?
that they've been shooketh. To find that they have been operating on top of a admittedly burnt out Illithid's nest, as it were. And she kind of nods along, and that, well, one thing definitely supports your story, and that is that a few hours ago we stopped feeling quite so on edge in this room. I'll
That's-
say that before then I was reading out in the hallway. It was very hard to concentrate before that point. Oh,
that
on our end, we did do as you suggested and spread the mud out to act as sealant, crack repair, so on and so forth, and dispelled it. It was a good thought.
Very good then. If you ever need a bit more of that,
We did save some just in case we had to seal this back up.
very well then.
Well, we'll keep the door shut and perhaps add a bar to it for now, but it's good to know that things are unlikely to burst through, and
And if you're feeling adventurous, I'll not say the path is completely safe, but certainly much more so.
Bring a few magic users just in case. Those Umber Hulks were bitches.
Yes, and there's one did get away at the very least.
well,
Also,
I'll
stay
say
away
that
from
an
the mushrooms.
adventure. Noted. I'll say that adventure might not be quite in our cards at the moment, but maybe after this entire conflict is over. Maybe then. But for now, I imagine that after the length of time you've been down there, you're probably quite hungry.
A fair bit, yes.
I'll always
In that
eat.
case, will you be joining us, or should we just do the same arrangement as last
Okay.
time, or?
We'll stay here just in case someone calls out, and we can keep separate from you guys. Keep you safe.
Well,
So if you want to join us, you've already been seen. I wouldn't mind coming.
do you remove those masks when you eat?
Sometimes.
Is it a
So good the food is.
perhaps religious significance? Anything that would?
It's spiritual.
Definitely spiritual.
It's about,
Just so you know, there's already been rumors swirling through it'd be a stretch to call them ranks. There have been rumors.
Ooh, do tell.
Nothing too spicy, I'd say. For the most part, it just seems to be the speculation of why the masks, and for the most part, that has been the largest contender. Something religious, something spiritual, or
Without getting too far into it, it's a...
No, please, let me. Here, come
I
here,
think
let me
one
whisper.
or two, to be honest, one or two did hypothesize that there might be some terrible scars and disfigurement, but
I was going to ask
given
if that
that
was on
one
the
of
list.
you,
Yeah, just hold on. I can tell you. Come here. Let me whisper in your ear.
she's gonna insight check you, but I don't roll for her, so go ahead and persuasion or deception, whichever you would choose, or just flat charisma.
It's persuasion. He's doing his best to convince her. I don't.
Mhm.
Oh, I did the persuasion button. Not bad.
All right, good enough. She kind of gives you a bit of a stare, but the mask covers your face, so your any expression is hidden. And after a moment, she edges closer and offers her an ear.
We all have differently strange noses, and to keep us from being easily distinguished, no matter what clothes we wear, we keep the mask on.
She leans back, looks over at Alaris, who has gone maskless in his not Aurora
Yep.
face, and looks back at you and says, "Very funny."
Thank you.
He's the luckiest out of all of us.
Again, without getting too far into it, it's a issue of the outside world seeing you and assumptions based on appearance. With these, you can kind of carve your own. She kind of like taps the side of her mask.
Like I said.
Well,
good job.
well then. If it's nothing too deep or personal in that case, I would be willing to eat alongside of you.
Please do.
Alright, I'll go and see about meals. Make yourselves comfortable. We did move these furnishings back in, so at the very least we won't be sitting on the floor to eat. Might need a few more chairs. You two, and she just sends them off to find whatever crate or barrel or the like that could be used as seating.
As soon as she leaves,
Mhm.
Kane turns to Alsana and just goes, "How much can you disfigure our noses with magic?"
None, because I refuse to.
Just my nose.
Kind of a drop in the ocean there.
Even with an illusion?
I mean, I can't add to what's already so terrible.
I'm sure you could. You're far more creative than that.
Why don't I just break your nose?
Yeah. Pulls off the mask. Go ahead.
I'm gonna break his nose.
That's her.
If he doesn't evade it, then yeah, you just crunch. Kane, it hurts like hell.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like
Oh. Nice
Ooh,
one.
Calder probably pulls a punch. What's 1 plus your strength modifier, Calder? 6? Bring it down to half. Take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yep, it's already half because of resistance, so.
Okay.
Carlton gives like a thumbs up. How does that?
Oh, I so desperately want to set that.
Do it.
Blood is flowing freely down your face, by the way.
Oh yeah, he immediately like, cleans it up and just sticks the two like a piece of cotton in each nostril. Just like here, set it, but like don't set it perfectly. You can fix it again later.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it.
Like her mask is still on. You can see the grimace.
You said you want to. If you don't want to, it's fine. I know how to set my own.
I
nose.
will. I would rather set it perfectly, though. That's the intent.
Oh, do it later then. If you need to re-break it, it's fine.
They're gonna really question why blood
You
is
just broke
everywhere.
your own nose to
No, I broke his
snow a
nose.
lie.
And Alsana just sticks a like a finger on the tip of the nose, and we'll go ahead and why is it not?
Feels like a rite of passage as a mom.
I meant this to be first, but oh well. No, a second's fine actually. I have a few seconds.
You know what? I end up with more HP than I started with. So,
Actually, nope.
oh, I was so hoping that'd be so funny.
All right. Kane now has a crooked nose, and still looks quite a bit like good.
And and Phil's right. It's like it's not that much of a distinction, really.
Oh, it's just for the nose thing.
No.
You might
but-
be able to give...
Do you intend to show her only your nose?
I mean, I didn't expect. I wasn't going to take off the whole mask. I was just going to like shift to the side.
Let me just here. Also, we'll just take some of her mascara. Not mascara, but like the ash stuff that she does for her own eyes.
Yep.
And she just like goes to put some on Kane's face that at least makes it slightly different than good.
Okay.
Do some
Yeah.
shading and what's the expression?
Contouring or
Contour.
something?
That's the one. Thank you.
Alright, with a little bit of makeup help and the crooked nose, you might be able to pass it off as a family resemblance. Or maybe if you really wanted to, how dare you assume that all half-orcs look the same?
There we
What I
go.
was gonna do. Alright, that's exactly what I was gonna do.
And then Alsana goes, "Hold on, I've got it perfect," and just a little clef on the chin.
Okay,
Alright, that's exactly what I was gonna do. God damn it.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm only moving mine up to the mouth. Do as you please.
Oh, you can leave yours on. It's fine. I just want to mess with her.
I need to eat.
Just pull it forward.
That's the whole. Anyways, here she comes now.
Mm-hmm. Alright, accompanied by a couple of a couple of daybreak soldiers to help carry all the plates and cups. Myra pauses at the entrance, looking at Kane. Mask fully off or half on?
It's basically like cocked, like so. It's the edge rests on his nose.
Yep.
So it's
It
like one
blinks
eye.
a couple of times.
Yeah,
And
kind of yeah.
It
Just who stays underneath the theater and is edgy. I can't remember his name. Half Moon Mask.
Phantom of the Opera?
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. She pauses at the door looking at you, but then just nods and steps through like nothing had happened.
As she thinks to herself, "How could you be so prejudiced? Oh my gosh."
Why is there blood all over his shirt?
Well, to be fair, we're already pretty bloody.
There's blood everywhere on Kane all the time.
hmm
It looks fresher than it was before.
Alright. You guys are given some rations for the well, not midday. It's been a very long day for you. End of day meal.
Kane is shoveling it.
Mm-hmm. You were able to
Really
eat.
If the two guards are here, he's gonna try to make small talk with them as best he can too.
No, they take off pretty quickly to get their own food, so. But Myra stays and she'll chat with you guys. She does not mention the nose.
Oh,
Like, conspicuously, she doesn't mention the nose.
At
Can
one point, he
Alsana
just-
passive insight see her glance at it a few times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alsana says nothing.
She also
Okay.
glances sometimes speculatively towards the center of the masks on you and on Calda as well. Like she's wondering.
Kane will just, at the very end of the meal, just look to her and go, "You thought I was joking, weren't you?"
She puts down the cup, sits back. I did think so.
I
He's
understand.
exaggerating. It's just him.
Hmm.
How dare you? Your nose is disgusting and you know it.
Careful, I'll set that disgusting thing.
Try me.
He likes playing at her insecurity sometimes. Little bugger.
Speaking of buggers, he pulls out the beetles. Look at these guys. They're so cute.
I see. Did you pick them up in the caverns?
They, in full disclosure, they are beetles that are somewhat influenced by the ambience of that area. They've got a little hive mind going.
Interesting.
I don't think it's for best to keep them long term, but it's a nice little entertainment for now. Unless you'd like to get a tank of your own in here or something.
Honestly, not something that I would have thought of, and when you pulled them out, I did initially think that they were going to be an alchemy ingredient.
I've considered it, but
Kane looks at Alsana.
they're still interesting little things. I have other alchemy ingredients to study, though.
You will leave Frederick alone.
Frederick and
Well.
Frederick and Frederick and Frederick.
No, Frederick, Freddy, Fred, and Frug.
He saw a frog on the way back.
Well, Worst, you are an entertaining individual,
I've been called much worse.
if nothing else. Much worst, huh?
Yes.
Well,
He's made that joke 1,000 times.
I can imagine. I
Kane
suppose there
smiles.
are... I can't even comment on it.
Well, you can try. I promise you haven't heard
There
all
are
the jokes.
more terrible names.
More tragic ones.
That's a good way to put it. Well,
As a side thing, just in terms of
Just
comfort. Okay.
yes.
I was gonna say, just
No.
in conversation with her, can Alsana get an impression of like her magical knowledge and stuff like that?
Okay. Yeah. Heavily arcane, far more wizardry based, it
Mhm.
seems. Oh, let's see. Do I have a sheet for her with like a level or anything? I do not.
Hmm.
You know she's capable of teleport. But you don't know how many times a day or anything like that. So
Yours
decently powerful.
yours is a kind who likes to collect spells, right?
Whenever I get the chance, yes.
Alsana will pull out her scroll of cold snap.
Oh,
Spark your fancy at all?
if I may take a look. She'll kind of give it a quick glance over while I double check.
Yep, because I
and
honestly
see.
don't remember either.
Let's see, where is my extended spell list? Okay, cold snap. Cold snap, cold snap.
Yep, it's wizard. If you're going by the
Oh yeah,
original thing.
Druid, Sorcerer, Wizard, so it is. Alright. She looks it over and gives a nod and looks at you. So is this an offer? Is this a trade? Is this...
Well, I suppose I'm just wondering what you have to trade in the first place.
Ha. Nothing terribly specific. In fact, I had been planning on asking more of a favor of you than offering anything. So,
Do go on though.
now, She rolls up the scroll and puts it back at the center of the table so you can take it if you want. I realize that you just spent a very long day taking care of a problem that we were not even aware existed. And we do greatly appreciate it, but we were wondering if you would want to go on a little bit of an expedition. First, that lantern, is there anything... She looks around. You don't see any scrying orbs. Will it reveal anything if it appears?
It should,
should.
yes. I believe
Cut
it
me
was
off.
just out of your view.
It's not
Cut me
impossible
off
to avoid it
instantly.
somehow, but
Cut me off instantly if you see it.
Yep, sure thing.
We have gotten some scout reports. Mostly in the past day or so, of restlessness and chances of necrotic magic and undead around the southern tip of Greenwater Wood.
There's
We
a
aren't
Twitch. Oh, actually, no, mask, never mind.
we aren't certain that it's Nightingale related, but whether it is or not, that's not a presence that you want in any region. And if it is,
It's
well,
not
whatever
unreasonable
they're
either, given the distance.
whatever they're planning should probably be swiftly dealt with. We often go out to winnow out such undead in various areas, or to, let's say, cause a few problems on supply runs. Now, we don't necessarily require your aid. This is more a request and an offer in one. If you'd like to feel like you're doing a bit more, I know that quite often recruits that come in are biting at any opportunity that's dropped in front of them. I suspect you may be a little different. But
way
it's
of
there. I believe that Dren at least was planning on taking a small group out, but if you'd prefer to go, then, well, that could be arranged, and frankly, we've got at least other rumors of a supply run heading from Galgaea up through the river. So it'd be easiest to divide and conquer a little bit.
At the very least, as well, that is a bit less close to home base for them.
It is. It would be about a day's travel to reach there. We don't tend to use teleportation and my skills for simple hit and runs, if we can avoid it. Limited resource. So, you don't have to decide right away, but the team is planning on heading out tomorrow morning. If it's something you'd like to take up or help with, we'd welcome it. If you'd rather stay here and rest and recuperate after what you've done, we would understand entirely.
speaking personally, I get antsy. I'd rather not sit still too long.
Yeah, it's a little better being able to get around.
And if there's any sort of advantage we could gain, if it is to do with them in that area, like I said, that's very close to home base. To the
Plus,
final
it means
goal.
if I get to earn another meal like this out of you guys, I think it's worth it.
You said northern side of Greenwater. Which area exactly?
Southern side of
Oh,
Greenwater.
southern. My bad.
Yep. It's the region of the forest that juts out slightly into the border between Galgaea and Pridwin.
For reference, on the map, where is Alsana's?
Hirish, let me go ahead and get a ping going. Right around here is about where that border would be. Yeah, somewhere in that region.
And around where is, at least on our side, the Twilight Druids?
Oh, they roam through the entire region.
Do they ever go down that far, though?
Occasionally, but it wouldn't be this time of year, at least not on your side. You don't know if it's different here.
Right, fair enough. But yeah.
But yeah, they tend to roam far more in the heavier heart of the forest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just want to make
Yeah.
sure. I am at least second-handly familiar with that forest. So I suppose there could be help there as well. Is it a decent ways into the woods or just in that area, adjacent to the forest?
The activity we've seen has been mostly on the edges, but there could be more further in.
If there's a
We know
source
that-
spreading out.
We know that if you're at least somewhat familiar with the woods, you might have heard of a particular lichen.
Sleeper Shroud?
That would be it. Makes for a tempting target for necromancers, you know.
Suppose so.
What's the name of the lichen again? Sorry.
Sleeper Shroud. It's a the hunter's tales would have you believe that it's a lichen that swallows you while you sleep on the floor. In reality, it's just one that's attracted to the decay of dead bodies. Often you'll find bones of creatures or, in larger clusters, humanoids underneath the shroud. That's the name. And for necromancers, that's basically signposting their resources.
It also has a remarkable tendency to keep the bones intact. Very few creatures like to disturb Sleeper Shroud.
Mhm.
They seem to find it unpleasant.
It is a bit, pungent.
Hmm.
Regardless, definitely makes sense. I don't know about you, Lot. Looks to the rest of the group. I definitely want to give a look in on that.
Anything undead, I'd rather investigate sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Even if it's not,
Mhm.
even if it's not then, it's something worth destroying.
Could be
Definitely.
a shred of something they've left in the past for all we know.
Either way, it could be useful. And if not, it's a good deed.
Also as a curiosity, actually also I'll just ask, like, also, as a wonder, in that area, there's a number of towns not too far off. Ulaman, Karad, Diar. Are any of them known for any resources magically? Any researchers? I know they're a bit out there, but
Well, Ulamon at least is close enough to Veravale that it's entirely possible that some of the students there have either come from that place or settled back down there. Dior, I don't know of anything, and as for Karad, you are looking at its greatest magical resource right now.
well, pride's always good to have in oneself.
A little pride in myself, a little bit of an acknowledgement that,
Not much else, is there?
not really. It was very boring growing up there. Probably one reason why I fell into books so much.
I know the feeling. Regardless, I have the intent for some alchemical research that could be very helpful for coming things. I'm just wondering if there's any facilities you might have known of that aren't too unreasonably far away.
Uh, I wouldn't say that there would be anything substantial.
At worst, I
Most
could just
knowledge, most knowledge in Galgaea, one way or another, drips and collects in the conservatorium.
What is your recommend on if we were to head to Veravel at all? I don't know these. I know they're overall political leaning on certain events, but I don't know how that affects actually walking into the place.
The scry earlier indicates that your masks, at least, are known. If you go into Veravel, go in disguise. Just in case. Aside from that, it's very easy to lose yourself in such crowds. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't make a scene in the marketplace. Aside from that, you should be alright, I would imagine.
Good to know. Okay. Was there anything else?
No, it was just the meal and the offer/request.
Okay, not long.
If there's anything that the rest of you would ask of me, let me know. If not, I need rest, and I imagine that you would as well.
Quite.
Well, I'm sure you'll know how to contact me if nothing. Oh, yes. She digs into her pocket and puts the other sending stone back on the table. I
Appreciate
imagine you'd like this back. Regardless, I'm sure that you'd be able to find me or get a message to me if need be.
Alright.
Well, if that's all.
I believe we will give the answer of the affirmative on that mission tomorrow.
I believe so.
I'll let Dren know.
Obviously, reserve the chance to change things, assuming something goes insane, which is not uncommon for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck with that.
And thank you for dinner, by the way.
You're very welcome. If you have any trouble with that door or anything beyond it, just
We'll
call
study.
out. Someone will come and help. And we can always move your sleeping quarters again if need be.
Someone
Assuming
feels
nothing goes wrong?
right. Feels right to kind of sit on the threshold between things.
To each their own, I suppose. Well, until the morning then. Good night.
Good night.
And she leaves.
As soon as the door closes, Kane turns to Osana. Please set this nose. I sneezed and it really fucking hurt.
Well, that's your own problem, but fine.
Thank you. He just waits for her to re-break it.
Lasana will go into like her medical pack and take out like a scary-looking like metal rod.
Oh, that thing's cool. Can I get one?
Hit him with it.
You'll feel it in a second, and she'll just like up the nostril and just give a quick.
The snap and a... Oh, that's such an effective weapon. Oh my god. Ow.
Medicine check.
Not necessary, given your minimum roll.
All right.
If you'd like to.
I'd like
Just for big number. Okay. Okay.
That was better than before.
36.
You just gave him a percussive nose job.
Pretty much.
Oh, deviated septum. Got that out of the way.
Is that why I've been snoring so much?
Yes.
Oh, you mentioned something about something that once. Hold on. And he breathes in, just like chest expands, like, oh, that was what the problem was.
All right, with a new and improved nose. Anything else for this evening?
Hold on. Pass me the mirror. Pass me the mirror.
Sure.
He takes it and like, oh yeah, she's gonna love this. Can you do my jaw?
I can.
I looked to Alsana. Can you fix it, make it look better, or no?
She tilts her head and just, define fix.
I mean, like, I wouldn't mind a sharper jawline. Like, I know I got a decent one right now, but still.
Actually, here, and she'll just like dig through some of her more medical stuff, and she'll just take out some like rough like little bundles of cloth and just chew on these for a while.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a roll like Kane can make or not, but can Kane roll for jaw strength to cut through the cloth by accident? Is that a thing?
You know,
Didn't say today.
when people want to become
That's okay.
DMs, they really need to be warned about
I've asked you
questions like
before,
these.
so are you sure you're ready?
And she said she
No,
wasn't sure.
I'm just saying in general, and yes, that was true. I was not ready for this. Jaw strength, you want to cut through cloth with your teeth?
I'm just wondering if Kane's passive jaw strength doesn't have to accidentally cut through cloth.
Passive, no,
Okay.
because it's cloth and teeth and roll a
It's-
strength check.
Okay. Cracks a tooth.
What do you want?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I'm in the middle of.
At one point, there's a loud crack sound. He just looks to Alsana and like pulls out the half a tooth. Like, is that supposed to happen?
Sorry, I had to step away. Say the last bit again.
At some point, there's like a crack, and Kane like pulls like a half a tooth out of the cloth, and is like, "Is that supposed to happen?"
Oh my! How did you?
My jaw, when I'm stressed.
Okay. Okay.
I've seen you do orc dentistry before. Okay.
Yes, that was removing. Okay, can also do emergency dentistry.
You can either roll a medicine check, but I don't know if you're going to be able to do much better than remove the other half if you do that, or you can use magic.
Technically, as long as you can bind the tooth in place.
I was gonna
but,
say, can she use magic
Oh,
and
oh,
alchemy?
Sure, yes.
come on.
So try doing like an alchemy to like make a thing to stick it back together.
Yep, make that roll. Wisdom based with proficiencies. Yeah, okay, give me the guidance.
35.
35. It is back together, and it's a little sore for now, Kane. But you know, it'll be good as new.
Kane look in the mirror. He like looks at his jaw and like, oh, the swelling actually does look pretty good.
The intent is the muscles around the jaw and strengthening them.
I don't think I have more muscles to strengthen.
Look, I don't think you go chewing on well done steaks every evening.
No, I do it raw because it's harder.
Regardless, you can always do some extra training.
Olaris, who was zoning out for the whole thing, is now watching this and just in disbelief.
He just hold on. I got something.
You want to do what with your jaw?
Oh, break it and put it back into place.
Doesn't work like that.
Why?
Yeah, I know. He'll just take a piece of rope and start doing that instead. Has more give to it, but you know, longer term exercises build up muscle better.
And make sure it's in the back by the molars and not by the front of the mouth.
Oh yeah, of course. Like my jaw isn't in my chin. Like I know that.
You fucking dumbass. What muscles could possibly be left?
We know, and yet, Kane, and yet.
Kane has intelligence,
come-
but redneck intelligence.
You have it, you just don't want to use it.
I use it very well, just not for the things that other people use it for.
Fair. I'll accept that caveat.
And I'm not talking about Kane. I'm talking about Conrad, to be clear.
Also fair. Okay, so, any other shenanigans you desperately want to get up to?
Nah.
Alsana wanted to do some cursory research on the tadpoles. Now that she has a place to sit down.
Alright, so alchemical testing?
Yep.
Okay. No rolls necessary. I'm just going to say that for the hour or so leading up to actually hour or two leading up to actually needing to sleep, you're able to advance your studies a fair bit. You're getting some ideas for various potions that you can make, and we'll be able to outline those outside of session time.
Yep. All good.
All right. So, with that, everybody can go ahead and get some rest.
Long kind.
Level up.
Long kind.
Level up.
Just to make sure, is anybody doing the watch in shifts,
Oh, yeah,
or
of
is
course.
it just gonna be
Yeah.
sleep? Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. You set up your arrangement of watches. It is quiet for the night. I guess for your pure bookkeeping, what order are the watches in? First,
I'll set on my 2 first, just because she was doing the research anyways.
fair. Second,
Calder.
third,
Oh, Laris.
and Kane is last.
Yep, Kane will cheer her up at the end.
Okay. All right. Kane, in the night as you sleep, you do have a strange dream.
Oh.
As you see in this dream, you're fighting in the it looks like a strange cross between the green water and the deep thicket. Probably your mind's way of taking various combinations in the image of forest and just kind of making something out of them. There's fires around you, but it's also raining. There's various people. They may or may not be undead, but you're fighting your way through them. You are absolutely tearing through. And then, all of a sudden, you find yourself in a little bit of a clearing, a little bit of a lull in the fighting. With your shield on your arm and your sword in your hand. You look across this clearing, and you see a figure on the ground, crumpled. And for a moment in your dream, you think, oh no, one of your friends, one of your family, someone you love. And the figure starts to get up, and you start to feel relief. They're not dead after all, they're okay. And they stand up fully and look towards you. And you see that it's Aurora, with your arrow still through her chest.
Fucking knew it.
And
God
she
damn
looks
it.
towards you, grasps the arrow, yanks it out, and then, quick as a flash, throws it at you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Take my sheet out of edit mode. No.
Alright. The arrow impacts and it topples you back into a bottomless pit. One of the traps that you remember digging, but instead of striking the bottom, you just fall and you tumble into a nightmare that lasts the entirety of your rest. You don't gain any benefit from that rest. And when you wake up or are awoken for your shift, you take 14 psychic damage.
Do I at least get to add the level up stuff?
I'll allow you to add the level up stuff, because I know that can be a pain to set on.
Yep. Mostly just because I
Yeah.
start changing them.
Mhm.
With candles kind of just wake up for whenever he gets woken up for last rest.
Yeah, Olaris wakes him up. Hey.
You-
Hey.
You wake up in a bit of a cold sweat.
Uh,
You alright?
bitch is still alive.
And he points at himself.
No, I know you're still alive. I hope.
No. And then he does the disguise. And then
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, you're whatever.
Not wife.
Yeah, whatever you want to call her.
Right.
In retrospect, we should have seen this comic, shouldn't we?
That's gonna be interesting to explain.
Yeah.
To my real wife, that is.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Hey honey, I went to the alternate reality and I killed you twice. Not the best.
If it helps, she did deserve it both times.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we gotta track her down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not fun that she wears the love of my life's face, but no.
Sure. Real fast. Would Kane know basically that if the long rest hasn't ended, that Alsana technically still has a chance to recover spell slots?
You know that Alsana doesn't like to be woken up because something something magic something something.
Okay. Kane will kind of just like poke her with his toe. Hey, 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 hey,
Okay.
hey.
There's a
Alsana.
grab of it.
There we
What?
go. Dead wife, undead lady is still alive, and if we can scry on her, might be able to find out where she is.
What?
My not wife is still alive. Apparently, you got a premonition or something in your sleep.
Oh yeah, just another one of those nightmares you kept getting.
Aurora.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Oh shit.
God damn it.
might as well check on her now before you finish your rest. I figure.
So a personal request for the future, Ariel, please stop us from clicking long rest before you're gonna do one of these, because I don't know what spell slots I had left.
My bad.
I want to say I had a 7th level left, but I'm not certain.
Yep, I did not expect it to affect anybody but Kane.
That's fair.
Well, we did make a whole thing of communicating more last session.
That is true. And it was taken to heart, apparently.
Yeah.
For the sake of this, you've already clicked it. I'll just let it go through. But in the future, I'll be more careful because it was my mistake. So
Okay.
go ahead and keep the click. However, you would be using your first spell slot of the day, basically, for this. So you would not be recovering that
Okay.
if you wanted to use it.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is if
Yeah.
if I did or I didn't have that spell slot from last time left, and if I would have if I didn't click it.
Basically, I'm not going to stop you from, like, failing to recover spell slots for...
Oh no, I wouldn't have. Like, that's
Ah,
not how
right.
it works.
Right. Because you wouldn't have had to start over the long rest, because it won't be an hour or more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know what? Just don't worry about it. Just, if you want to use a spell slot, you'll be able to go back to sleep and recover it. I'll just
Okay.
allow that.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the thing, is like, the scry is exactly an hour, so it would not.
If you held it for the whole time, but you don't have to.
Yep, that too. Alright, so yeah, Alsana will do a very quick scry on Aurora.
Alright then. Let me go ahead and open that sheet up.
Someone who she has directly met.
Yep, first-hand knowledge.
Scry is not an hour. It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was 10 minutes, but I was going with it because I'm going, maybe I mixed it up with something else.
No, scrying is 10 minutes.
My bad.
Casting time 10 minutes, concentration up to 10 minutes. You're basically up to 20 minutes of your time.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. First hand. Met the target. I wouldn't see you necessarily know her well, but yeah, it's a 0.
And then Alsana will ask
You've
Alaris.
got a like. Yeah. So you've got your likeness. Your base DC is, was it 18 or 19? I've forgotten.
Base
Alaris will
DC is
take
9.
off his wedding ring and hand it to Alsana.
It's not this one, so it doesn't count, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The wedding ring would help her scry on you.
Or
Yeah.
at
But it was-
best, like a 1 to your Aurora. But
Why don't we check the mirror Lars and see if he has anything on her that belonged to her?
that's a good point, actually.
Thanks.
Probably has his own wedding ring.
Can we give a quick check on the on Alaris' corpse?
You open up the bag,
Mhm.
pull it out.
Mhm.
It's still a corpse.
I thought you were gonna say the corpse is gone. I was about to lose my shit.
Huh.
Alright,
Elara's super unsettling, by the way.
yeah,
Every
is-
time.
Is there anything, like, again, was there anything we took off him or anything?
Hold on.
Does he have
Ah.
a wedding ring?
I think I have
He
something.
probably does. Mostly you
extra
took the
life.
magic items.
Yep.
Let's wait and see if Conrad has
No,
anything in
I don't have
notes.
anything written in the bag that I would have taken. Really? I could have sworn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think I have from that time frame is the dancing sword.
no worries then. Yep. All right. So then we'll just do it with the likeness.
Okay then. So that's I'm not subtracting 2 from the save. I'm adding 2 to your DC, so it's DC 21 right now. Double check wisdom saving throw. Wisdom, yes. Okay. GM roll. Whiz. Okay then. Okay. All right. You look into the mirror. You concentrate your thoughts upon this mirror of the Aurora you knew. The one on this plane. The one that's appearing in the dreams now of Cain. The way that she appeared in Alaris's.
Hmm.
You see darkness overtake the mirror. It's just a moonless night, it seems. Very hard to parse, but with your vision, you pick up on the little filterings of light, enough to recognize a place outdoors. It looks like there are trees around, and you see Aurora there. But she doesn't look fully the way that she did when you met her in that battle. Similar, but she seems pale, her eyes sunken, and she doesn't really, as you see her walk, she doesn't really seem to be breathing. How big are the trees? For scale, as she passes by one. Let's see. It looks fairly ordinarily sized. It doesn't look absolutely enormous. It's not the skyscraping pillars of the deep thicket. Enough for transport. Interesting.
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm. I
20.
got you.
Unfortunately, no. At least not the ones that you focus on. It looks more like a little bit of new growth.
Mhm.
It was bound to happen eventually.
Yep. You see her walk over towards another figure that comes into view. Also undead, but unfamiliar. Hunched over, with glowing, cold blue eyes. And it looks towards her. And she says to it, "Ready the troops. They're not far. This won't take long. We just need to find whatever little rabbit hole they've squirreled themselves away in. And then we'll have them." The figure nods, turns to go away, and she reaches out suddenly and catches it by the desiccated upper arm. And it stops and turns to her. Some intelligence in it still, it seems. And she says to it, "Remember, the 4 of them are mine. Starting with the orc." And she lets him go. And then she just turns, finds a log to sit upon, tilts her head up towards the sky, closes her eyes, and waits while you hear rustling. The sounds of preparation, of armor clinking, of feet cracking against underbrush and branches, until the scry comes to an end.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
go live.
They're outside.
I'll go warn everyone. You guys finish getting whatever rest you can. I got no shot at getting that, so just when you wake up, prep a few healing spells for me. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Alright.
Mm.
Get them all hands on deck.
Yep,
Yeah.
you guys can finish the rest. You need it more than I do. Do it for me anyways. Get up and dust yourself off and place the mask and Do you mind getting more to help me out with this?
With what? Sorry?
Getting everyone awake and ready.
Oh, yep. Send Mori out.
Screeching.
He's hooting.
Okay.
He's hooting and tooting.
Kid's gonna
All
basically do
right.
his best to not make it an immediate clatter. He's going to find whatever he knows best as anyone who has a major position, and basically let them know like, hey, they're looking for us. Let them come in. It's undead armies.
At least
Funnel
in
them
the
tunnels.
Yeah.
Put me at
Bottleneck 'em.
another entrance basically nearby, and let us get to work.
Make
But
a
take
death
it-
funnel, basically, yeah.
Basically try to encourage them to wake everyone up slowly, let whoever needs their rest get their rest, everyone put on their armor properly, put on the weapons quickly, and get everyone else who needs to leave here ready to go for during or after the fight.
Yeah.
All right. So you stir up the Daybreak Resistance's base like a hornet's nest. Everybody is buzzing and moving and setting up barricades as you direct and watch. Dren manages to catch you in a hallway. What's going on? They're saying that there's an incursion outside.
Yeah, undead army's looking for us, trying to find our way in. Their general's going to try to find us for specifically. I'm relatively weakened, but I'm going to have some healing spells hopefully soon. I want you guys, as best you can, supporting the rest of the soldiers and anyone who's a non-combatant, making sure that they stay safe. That's what I want you guys to focus on. They're going to try to kill us. It's a bit of a vengeance thing for the fight in Deep Thicket. We can probably handle it. Just make sure everyone else stays alive.
In that
Yeah,
case, maybe
don't
you should be up front so they don't carve through everything looking for you.
That's the goal, but I want to give my crew a chance to rest. If they have their magic back after the fight last night, then they'll be a lot more useful than if they don't. So, get everyone here barricaded as best they can. I'll stay at the front, and basically, I have kind of holds on to Mori, little alert system for whenever I need them to come up front.
Right. We'll make sure that Anne Sigwald comes running up and... Right, I talked to the scouts outside. They don't see anything yet, but we're keeping watch.
It should be undead as far as I know, unless they're finding someone else.
They haven't seen anything or anyone, is what I'm meaning.
No? Real fast, did the geography that Alsana laid out match the geography up above? Like, he'll describe it to them, but does it sound like up above or no?
They kind of look at each other and look at you and shake their heads. It's, there are some trees, but it's mostly barren rock.
Well, consider this a good drill then. They're probably not coming here. He pats them on the shoulder and goes to walk back into the room.
Would you... Alright, and Dren catches you by the shoulder and pulls you back a little bit. Alright, for the future. It's good to be on alert, but next time, verify information before you start drumming everything up.
Would you rather interrupt some sleep or make you guys not wake up fast enough?
Oh, I'd rather interrupt some sleep, but I'd rather interrupt the sleep and verify the information right away rather than have us run around like headless chickens for about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna spread the word and tell the scouts to keep on alert just in case, but,
Yeah, keep them ready. It is possible they had some sort of disguising spell, but I slightly doubt it.
just kind of grabs you on the head and gives you a little push down the hallway. Go make sure your crew's fine.
Yeah. He'll make his way back, and if any of them are still awake, just kind of like look in there, and I imagine they'd at least be awake, if not ready to go. They're still resting, just not asleep. But,
Up to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
just slowly getting up.
yeah, he just looks in like, hey, by the way, can you just run by me the description of the outside again?
Yes, and she goes through it, and then she relays, and they said they were looking for the 4 of us, and specifically we're looking for you.
Yeah, when you communicated with the kind of Earth last time, does it sound like the geography that was upstairs or no?
Did also get that far?
You know,
She had at least a 3-mile radius.
you had the radius, but I didn't describe it because it wasn't the focus at the time. No, that does not sound much like the geography beyond the cover of the mountain rock.
Could Alsana do like a nature check to get a general like top candidates on the map for a geography like that?
I would put it at disadvantage because it was literally at night, moonless night through a scrying spell, but you
Sure
can
thing.
make the check.
Guidance yourself. 19.
Not quite. You're pretty sure that it was forest land, and it probably wasn't deep thicket unless it was the very, very edges before the growth it gets really big in the heart.
What's the likelihood of there?
It's possible.
Is it any more or less likely than Soren?
I'm gonna say on a 19, you're not certain enough. Not quite. It could be here, but that's still like half a day's march or so, assuming even that they know exactly where you are and how to get to you, and they aren't just combing an area. It could be anywhere in Greenwater, it could be up here. Again, the very edges of Deep Thicket are a possibility. On that scry in the middle of the night, you didn't come across any identifying plants or geography to be absolutely certain of location.
Well, we can always scry again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that they're possibly nearby.
I
I'm
wouldn't be
gonna
surprised
go-
if they were combing their way down the mountainside.
I say I'm gonna go let the rest of them know that, yeah, we can pretty much confirm that we're at least safe within a mile. But I could very much so. I'll just say it's a mile, it's fine. Be ready just in case they approach the next day or so, but I say after that, let me take a quick nap, just an hour's rest, and we start looking for them. If they're undead, I imagine... Well, if they're not weaker during the sunlight, they're at least not stronger like they would be at night.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not while waiting for them to find us.
Did Alsana get a good look on that other undead that Aurora was talking to?
Fairly good. It was pretty centered in the scry. What would you like to know?
Oh, did it?
How buff is he?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what
Did he have a
does
jawline?
she know about that kind of undead? 'Cause I'm
Does look like he chewed cloth.
yeah. Like how distended were its hands and claws? How long was its tongue?
All right.
Oh, I made you nervous.
Go ahead and make a general.
Arcana,
Retrospect.
nature, medicine, religion.
I'm trying to decide if it's perception or if it's identifying. Are you trying to identify it, or are you just trying to get descriptive detail?
Identify it.
All right,
Would her
then it would.
subclass be any benefit? I can choose anti-undead.
Twilight is
I'm going
very
to
correct
set
in this. I assume this was always
Yep.
assumed.
Yeah, the DC is definitely assuming that. So I'm gonna say that it is a any of those mental intelligence stats that you were rattling off,
Yep.
because you've got the same modifier in
Arcana,
most of
history,
them.
nature, perception, religion are all 11s.
Any one of those could do.
Jesus.
Alright.
Go for it. I'm gonna say
Mr.
this is something in hindsight, so you won't be able to add the guidance because it was mid-scry.
Yep.
This is you like, actually, you're reflecting upon what you saw. You can add guidance. This
Alright.
could be after the fact. Done it before. 16. All right. Very obviously undead. It did not look like a skeleton or a zombie. It looked a little more intelligent than that. It was. It looked like human size and shape. You don't remember seeing anything in terms of distended features or anything like that. It was wearing a breastplate,
Mhm.
and it had a longbow and a quiver over its back, and a sword at its side.
Okay. What can she do with the Gage's current status and extrapolating from there? And what she saw of Gage versus the features of, like, on both Aurora and this other thing?
Okay. Separate roll. It can be any of those stats again.
Alright.
Any of those abilities, rather.
Let's do religion again, sure.
My goodness.
19.
19.
Nothing if not
Okay.
perception.
Very. You get the impression of 3 different types of undead.
Okay. AK.
Gage is a vampire. Aurora did not seem to be. Neither did this other creature.
Okay.
Aurora and this other creature don't look like quite the same thing. Aurora has more visual similarities to a zombie in some ways, with the sallowness, the paleness, the sunken features.
But
But her behavior is, yes, unfamiliar.
Does it?
Oh, I hope we've got a revenant of some kind.
Yeah, I
That'd
was
be so
gonna
cool.
say. I was gonna say. Does Alsana know what a revenant is, or?
think
I
that'd be
set the
winning the
DC.
roll.
I set the DC for positively identifying either Alsana or the other at 20, flat out.
Yeah, no, I'm just
You're
wondering if
just barely
Alsana knows what a revenant is, because I understand the confirmation of that,
Okay.
but also player extrapolation.
Okay. You probably do know what a revenant is, at least from reading.
Okay.
We can't like confirm one way or the other, basically.
Yeah.
The GM's not gonna tell us.
Yeah.
And she just
Nor should
she just leans back and just. She's some sort of undead. I wouldn't be surprised of some sort of revenant or approximation of. She seemed very vengeful.
cool weapons system
Har-
work.
Pretty sure.
Yes, some undead can resist non-magical, but I don't think that's a problem for us.
Definitely
The
not.
slightest. Do you know if they resist necrotic?
Fuck, like
Most likely.
that varies so wildly.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
Just
infuriatingly so.
Alsana. Alsana just, it varies so much and looks very
Yeah, she just
frustrated.
leans back and goes, "Oh, I write a whole dissertation on this problem."
Is she able to know that if it is a revenant, if revenants are necrotic resistant or no? Is that a roll she can make? Or
Heck. A nature check, go ahead.
Sure.
Alright, a bit better.
My rolls are not that kind to me.
20. Okay, if it's a revenant, you know that they are resistant to necrotic. They are one of the varieties that are.
What about a white?
White? Let me see.
I think we had whites before. I think we were.
Because I know whites have health thing.
Yeah, whites are weird.
They do necrotic. I just don't know if they resist it.
Yeah, let me, clip. I gotta get to the right page. I'm sorry, I use a book
The
manually.
white page.
Yeah, that
God
one.
damn it.
WX.
Oh my god,
There we
your
go.
puns have
W.
been so accurate today, but they're accurate like needles in the back of my skull.
Good.
Yep, a white is resistant to necrotic.
And she'll just. I err on the side of caution for that one.
Oh, damn, he kind of looks at Soul Taker and like, oh, it's so cool.
She's not a vampire, but fighting fire with fire might not be the way to go here.
I mean, the flame tongue appears in his hand. Fire is kind of what I was going for, but you know.
That might be a good alternative.
Sorry, I was reeling off the chutzpah of making a good pun. Are they resistant or not?
Yes,
They are.
Thank you.
Whites are. Yes.
They both were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Whites and revenants,
Yeah.
which are the only two you've asked about so far.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just be like, alright, I'll be relying on you guys for health recovery then after I take my nap. Although, honestly, also, can you do usual stitching stuff?
Yeah. She could patch Kane up a bit.
Yeah, 'cause
Specifically
you
the
can do
nose.
Yeah, you can do the max HP thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I
that
can't
case, I'm
double
just gonna-
check.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do my hit dice then, because I fucking need that. Because I'm on 52. I'm just gonna do the math of how many dice it is, because I have 15. Yeah, but do we basically have enough time to short rest?
You've got enough time to finish your long rest. Nothing
It doesn't
seems
matter if
to
you can't.
bother you. Yeah,
But
Okay.
That's why I say short rest. He needs to do a short rest instead.
sure. You do.
Alright.
You were basically woken up for your watch, so yeah.
Okay, good. Oh my god, I have to use so many hit dice now to recover. Holy shit.
I
Yeah,
just don't.
that's close enough. That's close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. So Kane will use 12 of his hit dice.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's how low it was. Even with it being maxed. Because Kane gets a bunch of extra max HP from Tough, so.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm at 214 max health now, so that's fun. Yeah, so Kane just basically takes a power nap for an hour.
Okay.
And yeah, the only thing I'm missing actually is Indomitable. So he'll wake up by the end of it, and everyone's still finishing their long rest, and just like, all right. Oh, you guys still need a minute?
I think we're good.
Just finishing off some spell preparations.
Take your time with it. I'll see how the defenses are going. I'll give them the update that they're probably close by, which is not here. It's the best we can figure out. Wonder if the wizard we know here has caught Aurora's eye. Maybe she could figure something out too. He'll just go out looking for everyone to see what the changes are in the past hour.
All right. Changes in the past hour. Pretty much just the general hubbub has died down. And now there is a lingering tension, fueled by some snatches of rumor that you might hear along the way. Little bits and pieces, whispers of, yeah, they're right out. No, they're not right outside. Scout said
Ken will just
nothing.
kind of pat the shoulder of the person nearby and like, hey, don't worry. They might be nearby, but I'd rather be safer than sorry. And feel free to spread that. You're not in imminent danger, but it's the possibility they'd rather not risk. We're just being cautious.
Yes, sir.
You can be informed.
All right.
It's fine. I just want to make sure that we're being clear here. Feel free to spread it to whoever you need to know. We're not. It's not imminent, but it's possibly nearby, and I don't want you to put you guys at risk because we're around.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
I'll let others.
Do you want to go inform the rumor mill? Whoever you know is the biggest gossip around here.
Yeah, definitely. We know the one.
Go for it.
Okay.
Can you point me out to the heads of the operation here?
They're somewhere. I think I saw I saw Sigwald recently. Just go down that way.
Perfect. Yeah. Just stay alert. Keep everyone here safe, for me, okay?
Okay. Sure. Whatever you say.
You know,
You
makes
look
me
at
down
each
that
other.
way.
You kind of scoot off down the hallway. So, you follow the direction?
Yeah, he'll look the way, just trying to find Sigwald.
It's another natural tunnel that curves around towards an area that's more shaped. And when you go through, there's a number of people there, but you spot Sigwald across the room, and he seems to be in conversation with Lily.
Okay, I'll nod to the two of them and just, hey, do you mind if I collect the important thinkers of you guys real fast? Just want to pick your brains.
I suppose? Is it another potential alarm?
No, it's hoping to narrow down and corroborate the two informations that we have. Whoever would know the terrain best up there of the nearby area within probably 10-20 miles. If I give them a possibility of what to look for and the basics, if they can point us in a direction, if it's anywhere near, or if not, then at least try to figure something out.
Honestly, you're looking for trees, right?
Yeah, my coworker can give you a better description of the general lay of the land, the type of soil. So if you guys have any like hunters and stuff like that who can help.
Right. If you're looking for lots and lots of trees, you're gonna want either just west of Karad, or you're gonna want north in the Greenwater. Or if you're just looking at like little clusters and copses of trees, they dot all over the hills leading up to the mountains. We're too high up to have them, but it could be anything, anywhere, if that's what you're looking at.
Alright, well, in that case, I'd like to pick the brain of those in charge. I don't know the magic, see if they have anything they can help with. If not,
Hey, I'm in charge and I do have magic. What do you mean?
is there more than one of you who's in charge and has magic?
Yeah, there's Myra.
In that case, 2 would be better than 1. Especially considering I'm half a brain, I figure we might as well even it out to rough 2.5.
I'll go find her. We'll
Thank
meet you back in that room.
Give us a knock before you come in so we can make sure we're not being scarred on.
Fine.
Thanks.
Wait, are you being scryed on right now?
I genuinely have no way of checking until I get back in the room.
Well, goddamn. All right. We'll meet you there. I'll go find her. Sig, do you wanna? Yeah, I'll go with him. All right, meet you there. Sigwald kind of falls into a saunter at your side, going back towards the room, unless you want to go somewhere else first.
Yeah, he'll just
He
kind of
looks
turn to
towards
say,
you
well,
and. Have you guys had breakfast yet?
no, but I would love some.
Well,
Just,
let's get that on the way back.
Please do. And, I'm not sure how likely the two are to offer it up, but just most likely we're going to go out looking for these folks if we can figure out a rough direction.
Ah.
If they do make it here before we get here, just tell them where we went. Tell them to chase after us. They've got a grudge against me. I don't want you guys getting hurt because of it.
Right?
Just offer us up. We're far more deadly than you may expect.
Oh, I came through a portal just in time to see you guys take out an enormous bone dragon, having already taken out a nightingale. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna doubt you on that one.
I don't mean to say this as a braggadocious manner, but that genuinely was kind of a slow day for us. Not that we didn't get enough done, but that we weren't at top strength.
Well,
Just
damn.
don't risk you guys for the sake of trying to protect us. It's A, inefficient, and B, not worth it.
Got it. All right. Well,
Breakfast?
breakfast. You go pick
Okay.
up a meal and get back to the room. Everybody who's still there, there's a little knock, knock, knock on the door, and it's Kane and Sigwald. After a few more minutes, Dren, Lily, and Myra all show up as well. The room's getting a little crowded, but there's elbow room still, so you're okay.
Also, we'll start with a recap of everything she saw, just for the sake of, hey, this is why we put everyone on high alert.
Alright, Myra kind of nods with a furrow brow and points out, we have been hearing about undead activity in the southern tip of Greenwater. If you recall, that was the mission for today.
Yeah, I'm nervous if they manage to get closer.
If there's...
Can I ask a meta question to you directly, Earl, that I think
Mhm.
Alsana would know? I'm just gonna message it to you because I think it's relevant, but I don't want to spoil it if it is.
Go for it.
Yep, sorry, I
Yeah.
don't want to spoil a thing, but okay, just wanted to check.
Okay.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, so I want to keep you guys safe as best we can, and if we were to go on to look for a group of undead, I figure we might as well beat them to the punch.
Well, if you do come across them on the way, then at the very least you would most likely be finding them out in the open.
More importantly, away from here.
I mean, honestly, just even if they are searching for us, it's possible they could be in the center of that activity that was said.
It's possible. So,
And if not, then I'd rather them not get reinforcements by a bunch of other undead.
and Dren kind of looks around and puts his hands on his knees. So, I was planning on taking a group out to check out that problem. If it's a larger problem potentially, I may have to bone up on numbers.
We are your numbers, but if you can give us some scouts, outriders who can save us the surprise, that'd be more appreciated.
We need utility rather than firepower.
Exactly, and we should probably also leave you with the sending stone again, in case something happens here.
I sort of planned on coming with you.
I'm not going to stop you, but putting it
But
bluntly,
there's
one
now
sword
the
versus
question. There is now the question of whether something might be on our doorstep.
If they're just gonna basically scour this place and look for us, it's playing on until they find you or find us first. And putting out more of your scouts make you more likely to be seen, but if we can put them around us, we can find them first, hopefully, or the scouts can direct us towards them, because again, any scouts you bring with us, I think my friends here will agree, if they find one of our scouts, I want the scouts to tell them where we are. I don't want them trying to hide shit. I'd rather them just come to us.
On the one hand, if it could work out perfectly that they simply just meet us in an open clearing, that'd be ideal. I don't think that would be the ideal. I don't think that ideal would be how it plays out, though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, my ideal, genuinely, would be to have a false entrance to this base that we can dig out and have me stand
Oh.
at the entrance out and chase us out, chase us down, kill them on the way here, and everyone move immediately after.
False entrance. How many of those do you think we have?
I mean one that doesn't actually lead here.
Hmm.
One that can maybe be half mile away that we can stick me down, have them, if they really want to find me, have me banging on a piece of metal to chase me down. Ideally, they're stupid enough to believe me, chase me down the hole, and blow them up on the way down. But I think that's a little bit unlikely.
You've got an interesting imagination. As for
I
the
like ambitious.
base, we are very well hidden thus far.
Yeah.
We could probably just hole up and hide, though that does leave them free to do whatever they want in the countryside. Something we'd rather avoid.
Yes. I know.
That's fair.
So I'm
but
going to leave it up to you. Either I can go out with a larger party and try to find and deal with this, while you stay here safe. Or
Fuck that.
thought so. Myra
Right.
nods. So then,
One
Our
small
knowledge-
edit I might recommend
Mhm.
is if we are heading to the Green Water for that check-in on that undead activity, perhaps we slightly detour the route there, just along the west side of the cliff face. If they're making their way further from that forested area on the map,
Mhm.
then it's possible they could be heading this way. And if we were to just run into them on the way there, that would be ideal.
Like, fuck off army of undead can't be that hard to find, right?
That as well, we'd probably see them coming a decent ways away if we're just walking by the fairly open cliff face.
Yeah, and Morticia, can you turn into like a giant bird and look from above?
I could do some scouting.
Just try to find the general area where we all scour on feet.
We could also stop in through Karad and see if there's any talk of anything in the area as well.
Or
Yeah,
any
you can go there.
familiar trees that you may have saw in the scry at least.
Yeah, and if they
And
have
also
undead,
just give
probably
me a-
somebody can guide us through.
Yep, and also just give me a quick jump to Karad if needed.
That too. Probably we'll have to look for a tree near here too in case we need to retreat quickly.
We don't really have trees that size and girth very close to us. There might be one a little further down the slope. That could serve your purposes, if you
Oh,
don't
even
mind a
within half
little
a
bit of a
mile.
climb up and down.
It's best we got. Might as well.
I mean, it would work,
Can,
I'm sure.
can any of the magic folk send a magical message to us?
You see Myra slightly lift a hand.
You have a. Are you willing to keep one of those on reserve just in case?
I was already planning on it, given that we are waiting on another message from another agent.
Good. Oh, how about this? Give a sending stone to Dren. Dren, you go with some of your scouts. Give us a message if you find anything. We'll give you a message if we do. Myra, if anything happens here, you can tell us too.
Well, that seems fairly reasonable. Dren kind of gives a nod. So, you'll head west along the peaks. We'll head more or less due north.
And make it roundabout, just in case they're coming from the back. We don't expect it.
Oh, I said more or less. Trust me. This isn't the first time I've done a run.
Yeah, I know. Just I'd rather us find them than you, personally. Oh god, I'm getting protective. This is gross. Okay.
Oh, there's worse things to be.
He'll turn to Caldo. It's like, is this how you always feel all the time?
Constantly.
This is absolutely infuriating. I now understand everything about the way you've functioned over the past year.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Ugh.
Well, let's get set to go then.
You guys all magicked up and ready to go?
About as much as I can be.
Yeah.
For now.
Yep.
Should be.
Alright. Well, send them to the crows if you find them. And make yourself scarce from the carrion birds.
We'll do our best. You do the same. And Dren picks up the stone and kind of rolls it between his fingers. Make sure to send word if anything does go wrong, or if it goes right, for that matter. I'll do the
Of
same.
course. Yeah. And basically, if we send you the memo that we find them, don't come and support us. It's probably not worth it.
Just you try and stop me. He pockets the stone and stands up. I've got some more scouts to rally.
Alsana has the other stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And she goes, "How about this? If we're about to die and Kane's not there to protest, I'll let you know."
I'll be damned if I'm not the one who dies last.
In all honesty, we're heading different directions, so unless it's right out the doors, not sure there's much I'll be able to do, but just know that I'm going to try.
It'd be hilarious. We just walk out the door and they're standing right there like, this solves the problem.
Well, let's
You
go see
have
if that'll happen or not now.
Well, if all goes well, see you in a couple of days. Round trip.
Yeah, sure.
I might be able to cut down the time with that tree nearby.
Good luck, then. Gets up and he heads out of the room. Myra nods to all of you and echoes the wish for good luck, heads out after him. Sigwald gives you Alsana a little wave as he goes. Lily
Feedback.
follows behind. You guys are left pretty much alone.
Let's be off then.
Yeah,
Time to
let's.
go, time to go crack some emaciated skulls.
Return some bodies to the ground. Make Xanthus proud.
Get some dust spells in there.
If we do manage to kill this crazy bitch again, also, do you have a plan to keep her down?
There's a few things I could do.
Okay. Well, have them ready. Because while I am all for killing her multiple times, I'd rather not.
As a reminder, just in case the player's forgetting, with her body last time, we just kind of let it sit, right?
Yep.
Because we had to go because the fucking other thing in Threshold.
Yep, I tried to stuff her in the bag, we didn't have time.
Yep, okay.
You managed to get Therastra.
Yep, which thank God, because this sword is very cool.
Alright. Let's get going.
Okay. So, you head out, and your plan is to travel along the cliffs towards the west, descend around that small spit of forest next to Karad, yes?
And then head
Check.
into Karad.
Okay. Alright.
And we were planning to have Alsana scouting as an eagle above, right?
I could do that, definitely.
Okay. Yep. Fairly soon out of the, well-hidden entrance to these caverns, you do spot a suitable tree for transport through. You do a little bit of a hike down and up to get there. It's not immediately into the base or next to it, but it's convenient.
Sun will shift into a mountainous hawk.
Okay.
That's cool. I like that.
Take off and start to circle. Go ahead and give me a nice hockey perception check.
Hawk.
Be advantage for keen senses, right?
I believe it would. It only makes sense. How?
Oh no.
Damn.
Mhm.
Oh man, that's great. Oh, that's great. Again, big fuck off army of the dead. If they are here, they wouldn't be hard to see at least.
Really mad.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. You're able to keep track of your party, no problem.
Could you throw me a bone? Is it possible she could cast guidance on herself before wild shaping?
You could have because you were planning on it, so...
Oh, this is great.
13. Lucky 13. You spot a rabbit on one of the slopes. The sudden movement kind of makes you want to dive down and catch it, and it distracts you for a little bit. But yeah, circling around, you're able to keep that for how many hours? Because I don't know if 2 is correct.
Very.
It's half.
Half my level, right?
I believe so.
So yeah, 7 hours.
All right. So yeah, you could keep this for the entire day. Honestly, about 4 or so hours into it, you see Karad down on the plains below the slopes, and you see the forest, and you are soon able to descend down into it.
It being Karad or into the forest?
Whichever. Forest
I
would
wonder
come
if-
first. It kind of crawls up the slopes of the mountain in a way that Karad does not.
Okay. Yeah. Might as well then.
All right.
And for equals hours equal to half your druid level, write it down. Yep, 7.
Yep. So you've got about 3 hours left at the point where you guys hit the forest and descend down into it.
Asana is just going to make a bit more of a like it'll give a hawk noise down to the party just to let them know. And then she'll just give a quick sweep around and like the forest to the west of it more.
Okay. This is a new perception check for new terrain. With
Mhm.
advantage, but no guidance this time because you have been in hawk form.
There we go.
There's a 23. Alright. You do a thorough scouring of this forest and note several trees in several prominent locations that would be suitable for your transport, including one pretty much right on the edge of Karad itself as you swoop and weave and spot a point where the forest and the village almost meet up. I'm going to say in all of that, you don't come across anything else humanoid except for perhaps one woodcutter from the town who is gathering firewood and lumber.
She at a point she will like land in view of the woodcutter just to for the woodcutter to be like, oh, a hawk, and then fly off.
Yep.
Just because she knows she loves it when hawks stop by her, so she's just like, eh.
Yes. There is a moment of brief, look at that. And he reaches into his pouch, draws out a sandwich, unwraps it, pinches off the corner, and kind of throws it in your general direction so it hits the ground at the foot of the tree you're perched in.
I'm gonna tilt the head, swoop the ham, and leave.
Okay.
What is it with you and stealing random farmer's food?
Hey,
This
that
one
was
wasn't
that was
stealing.
willingly given.
Yeah. This was
Okay.
all an offering.
That was consensual farmer sandwich eating.
You farmer sandwich eating hawk, son of a bitch.
Alright, that's going to take up at least a couple of hours. You may have one left.
Alright, yep. And she'll, if the party is like in Karad at that point, she'll stop by them. And switch forms.
Alright.
No luck.
So, some good tree points, but nothing shambling.
You have a little bit of ham on your lip.
Don't know what you're talking about. And she like
That's what
runs
it
the finger on the face and like bit of mustard.
Aren't you vegetarian?
No,
She's never been vegetarian.
you've asked this like 5 times.
That's the joke.
And that's the reasonable response to someone asking it 5 times.
That's fair. You just shrug like, alright, well, time to give you a new town full of people to torment.
Sounds good.
We probably look real suspicious, don't we?
Yes.
Should we just send Molaris in there?
Probably.
Probably.
If you can do some questioning of individuals asking about undead nearby. Perhaps you're a local, I mean, you have the look of it, a local monster hunter. Witcher, what have you.
And if you can get into someone's secrets and businesses, I'm sure Alsana would appreciate it.
Alright, so is Alaris going into town?
Yep.
Okay. So, as you leave the forest, you find a little bit of a track leading from there towards the town itself. Karad is not protected by walls. In fact, it's somewhere on the point in between village and town, nestled in the foothills of the Redstone Peaks, against a little spit of forest that is unnamed on any map, at least any large map of the region that you've had. You head in and you see a living community. It's not bustling, it's not insane, it's definitely not any sort of trade hub, but they get by, they make do. They seem to have a self-sufficiency about them. There is a little bit of a small market. You do see one very little inn that seems to serve far more as a tavern and a gathering and meeting spot for the locals rather than as a place for visitors. Beyond that, for the most part, what you see around you are ordinary residences. Nothing terribly fancy. The construction style is a bit more Galgaean than the sort that you're used to up in Walton and Soren. There's a lot more rock used in the construction. It's the style of houses where very often there will be a bottom half of stone and then the top half is of wood beams and plaster. However, you're able to walk in with a bare face, no suspicious mask, disguised as a red-headed young man.
Yep.
Perhaps someone steps in.
Perhaps. So, what would you like to do?
Not sure, actually.
We sent you in for undead in the area reconnaissance.
Yes.
Ask locals.
Ask around, really.
Okay. Go ahead and make a broad blanket charisma check.
Blanket charisma check?
Yep.
Okay.
This one
For
would be
ability
nice.
to
We send him a person
engage with
8
the...
wisdom.
That's fine.
For ability to engage with them? Okay.
Yep. And to get the information that you're after. Okay, 13. Alright, you do a little poking around, a little light conversation, perhaps in the tavern or the area thereabouts. You kind of get a response of, oh yeah, we had a little bit of a problem out in the graveyard, what was it, a few months ago? But you know, that one girl, what was her name? Myra. Yeah, Myra. She came through with a couple friends, sorted it out right quick.
Interesting.
Yeah. Education did her good.
Yeah. Have you heard any rumors as of late?
Rumors.
Of any movements of any places nearby?
Bit of odd questions, but nah, everything seems pretty normal. I mean, if you want to look around the graveyard, you probably could. It's pretty open. You want to take a peek, but Yeah, we take care. We take good care of. We take good care of those who passed on. Make sure that they don't get their memories disrespected by shambling too much. The one problem was a bit of an oddity, a one-off. You know, some people come in from outside, don't take care of proper precautions, and get a little bit of a mishap.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't trust them outsiders. Oh, no offense.
None taken. And there can be some shifty around.
Oh yeah.
Our good
So,
shifty people standing outside the village.
Watching quietly through the underbrush. So Elaris, you are pointed in the direction of their graveyard, a well-kept little place. It's got a bit of a half fence around it, also of stone. The yew tree at the corner, a very small temple. Less for worship, more for the consecration of the area, really.
Yeah.
Everything looks to be fairly in order, and more people confirm the rumors that you kind of dug up. There was a spot of trouble a couple of months ago, but it was a fairly small trouble, fairly simple, and very swiftly taken care of. For the most part, Karad kind of keeps to itself. They have their own problems, and they homebrew their own solutions, as chance would have it.
I see.
Nevertheless, you are told that, if you're looking for, like, work to do or trouble to shoot out, I guess you could try up in the main city, or maybe over in Pridwin. Always weird things going on over there.
Aha. Always,
Yeah,
always
foreigners,
weird
you
stuff
know?
Going on a Pridwin? Ah, okay.
Oh, they're always weird there. Did you hear? People are
No.
saying that they got their queen back.
Did they? Are they?
First, they're saying that she's dead. And then they're saying that she came back. And this, I ask you. Whenever one of those high and mighty types gets killed, either they get back immediately, so it's not even a problem, or they can't, which means that they shouldn't have come back, right?
Yeah. Of course.
So if you ask me, something's fishy there.
Quick cut to back to the outside and glared at Sana for some reason. Also, I was just sitting there like, just looking at me. I know you usually do, but still. This is torture. I don't like it.
Yeah.
People in there saying things. You know what? And a black lab goes strutting into town.
You're not starting later, you fucking...
You know what? An owl's gonna follow.
God damn it, they don't have the fucking lantern. I sent him so that we'd get less people.
The owl's
All
following.
right.
We got more going.
A dog and an owl go into town. A lab has pretty good senses. You're able to sniff down Alaris fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Looks like he went by the local watering hole and then went up towards the graveyard on the other side.
Okay, just
You follow.
looks to- just like, she has the sending stone, right?
Kane, if you're trying to talk to me, I'm looking through the owl's eyes.
He'll nudge her shoulder.
Calder's just gonna break that connection because it's probably past 100 feet at this point.
Mhm.
What'd you say?
They've got the sending stone, right?
Yeah, she does.
Alright, if they're getting assassinated, let me know. And he lays down.
Okay, you take your nap.
And Kane's just gonna listen out for anyone coming by.
All right.
Calder's gonna sit crisscross applesauce and braid Kane's mohawk.
Okay.
It's probably pretty grown out at this point.
All right.
Black lab boofs behind Lars.
Yep. Alaris, you look around and there is a very black Labrador with a very familiar small owl perched on her head.
Right. And he's just gonna keep walking to the graveyard for now?
Mhm.
Loyal hunting companion will trot beside the man with the crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Everything that you see there is as described. Altana, you can go ahead and give a sniff around if you would like.
Do the dogs get the keen senses on like smell?
They
think-
should.
Let me double check.
Just take it. I know wolves do.
All right.
Yeah. And I think like mastiffs do as well. So like, there's enough dogs.
29.
29. Okay. Yeah, you get a good sniff, and there's dead stuff there, but it's all underground, and you don't get that weird tingle of magic wrong. Things are wafting in the air that should not be. This seems okay. This seems to be alright as far as that goes. You don't smell anything super weird. You smell stuff that's unfamiliar, but that's just because it's a new town. And you smell something very tasty in the tavern down the road.
And the lab looks up at Lars and just shakes the head.
Yeah. He's gonna give a shrug.
Do another like motion to like back where they came from.
He's gonna motion towards the graveyard, actually.
You can talk, buddy. Come on. Dog's looking up at you for the further clarification from your human mouth.
Yeah, and he's gonna relay the information that the nice people that have been.
Oh, I assumed you already did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, yeah. Dog gave a sniff around the area. No one death.
And we haven't checked out the other towns yet, so that's another thing.
Well, those are further away. We're just stopping in here on the way to the Green Water area.
Exactly.
So yeah. Right, and then Dog will again just motion back to where we came from.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so by this time, it's probably been about 7, it's been close to 8 hours. Depending on what time you set out, it could be late afternoon, maybe getting towards evening. You know that if you want to get to Greenwater, you probably could with a bit of remaining... no, you wouldn't have quite enough. If you pushed, you could get there late at night. It would basically be the equivalent of, we're on a road trip, we're not stopping here, we're going to stop at the next town and motel or whatever, even if we get in there at like 11:30.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I think we should stay outside of town because a bunch of people in masks at 11:30 at night is probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
And if we keep going and do end up running into them, we may be at a non-ideal place, at least for the sake of their civilians nearby.
All right.
I say we go a little bit higher up altitude-wise, light a fire, and see if they come to us.
That's fair. Also, Doggo will just kind of like trot around and give occasional sniffs and scouts. And then
Okay.
come back to the group every like 5-10 minutes.
Just an owl hanging out with you for most of it. He's getting comfy.
Lawrence looks like fucking Snow White walking around town.
Yeah. It
I'd also
happens.
just give occasional like, could Doggo do survival checks in the area? Check if there's been any like undead movements or anything.
Sure, go ahead.
Would this be advantage? Is this tracking at all, or?
You know what, just use perception.
All right.
Just go ahead and use perception.
I'll take that.
Because you're using your nose anyway. 30. Nice. Alright, you've got a really good sense of the little wooded area here. You've got a great sense of where people from town tend to go. The woodcutters' usual route in and out, where people will frequent searching for forage, herbs, hunting, etc., etc. You don't pick up on any undeath or undead movement. You don't pick up on anything super weird or unusual. And with that, you're able to actually find a nice little region that is away from a lot of the more well-trod areas by people from town if you want to avoid them. You also pick up the scent of of quite a bit of game of your choice if you want to lead any of your companions to it for dinner.
Doggo will boof and do so.
Honestly, take your pick of a forest animal that can be hunted.
Maybe like a nice quail.
Sure. You can get a nice little brace of them.
I mean, 2 is enough to feed 4 people easily.
Yeah.
Just letting you know your options are very wide because of that that 30 perception.
You know what? Kane might request a deer because it's been a while since he had time to make jerky.
All right. Can Doggo track down a deer?
Doggo can track down a deer. Kane and Alaris, between them,
I was gonna say, imagine
easily
Alaris could
shoot
snipe
it.
it from like half a mile away.
Yeah, and then
Prob-
blow the
yeah.
front half of it off.
He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to.
Mhm.
But yes, you guys are able to hunt a deer, and you can set up jerky. You can set up camp.
Just imagine like the bolt hits it and just like, and the deer gets turned to mist, and it's just like, sorry, force of habit.
It's like some Sniper Elite shit where you see like the slow-mo.
All right. Yep. Set up camp.
Kane will take his time and probably with the help of Calda make like a ton of jerky just to feed us for the next few days.
Oh, yep. Get a shit ton of salt on there.
And he'll
Doggo
save
will
the,
put head down on
He'll-
Calda's lap.
Caldo will 100% scritch Doggo.
and Kane will take some of the ligaments in the back of the leg of the deer. He'll save longer ones and kind of turn them into bowstrings, because you can make spare bowstrings out of that. And then he'll take the rest and kind of ball it up and dry it out, and then stick it in his mouth and start chewing on.
Okay.
Josh
All right.
training.
Yep.
He's used to hunting in the swamp, and you got to use everything.
Yep.
If the deer had teeth, they'd be great arrowheads.
If the deer had teeth.
As in the crocodile teeth, Ariel.
But you're phrasing.
Yeah, I know
If it-
this.
If the deer had teeth.
If a
If
deer
the
was
deer had teeth, that worked, okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I'd given you an old gummy Grammy deer.
deers have working teeth, bud.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure after whatever Alaris did to them with that arrow, did they have a head at all?
No, he just sniped it.
I'm joking, I'm joking.
Ah. All right, I'm not going to be able to recover from that.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So, you're able to set up camp a bit up the slope and out of the way of town and anybody who might be out and about. You've got a pretty good vantage point. Little campfire going. You've got your tents up. You've got an entire deer butchered and set out to dry. So,
And, Kane will take first watch, because fuck it. He's already been awake for whatever long.
alright.
No, wait,
So,
wait,
Kane
wait,
first
first.
watch.
Caldo will take second.
Second, Calder.
Should we potentially not click long rest?
Potentially.
Mhm.
Third rest?
You mean third watch?
Third watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asana.
And that would be Alaris on last.
Yep.
Okay then.
Kind of check we making?
That
Perception.
would be a string of perception checks. Kane first.
Oh, I was gonna say actually, real quick.
Yes.
Could Alsana do the first one just because the doggo could get advantage on the perception?
So switch off Sana and Kane.
That works for you, Conrad.
Would that work?
I was basically, I was gonna say just delay it as long as possible to prevent a possible psychic damage.
Yeah, but
But
advantage on
if
perception.
you want to, go for it.
I'd rather make use of that if I could.
Yeah, I say go for it. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright. Perception. 27.
Okay. You keep a fine watch with Mori on your head. It is a quiet night.
Unbeatable totem.
It's a quiet night. It's still. There's all sorts of interesting scents that float up from the forest, but nothing alarming. You nudge Kane awake about the time that perhaps your doggo form might slip off, and you're once again a half-elf.
Oh, Calder watch too. Kane's third.
Okay. Calda watch too. So you
Yeah.
wake up Calda. Calda, go ahead and perception check for
Okay.
me. Alright.
Owl.
Mori does some circles in the night, keeping an eye out. Kane,
Alright.
as you dream, once
Sorry.
again, it's okay. Once again, your dreams bend in the direction of Aurora. This time in your dream, very visibly undead. To an extreme that Alsana did not describe. She is stalking you through the forest. She sings out, "I'll find you." Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw again, please.
Does he get a +5 from this one?
He does.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Look at you go.
You
Haha!
assume it didn't matter.
21. Alright. 26. So, you are woken up by Calda for your third watch, but you do not take any psychic damage, and you do not lose any benefits. Not that your rest is fully completed, but you would not when you go back to it.
And Kane just kind of shrugs, like, yeah, she's still looking for us, so the base hasn't been destroyed in the meantime.
That's fun.
Do you guys want me to try something? Just, while we're already here.
Depends on what it is.
I can make a very loud noise with a cantrip.
How close are we to the town?
Probably a mile or two out.
Yeah, go for it.
He'll check to make sure everyone else is awake first, because it will wake all of them up.
They are not awake, only you and Calda are.
And he'll just, I'll do it in the morning. I'd rather than get rest tonight. If she wants to find us, you can find us, it's fine. Just, sleep with your armor.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll make his perception check that he made earlier.
Okay. Very good, 18. Alrighty. You don't really notice anything on your watch. Once again, it seems fairly calm. You're not quite picking up on the plethora of small animal movements that Alsana and even Mori did, because owl. But nevertheless, you're aware of the little sounds of chirping and droning nighttime insects and nocturnal creatures kind of rustling through the grass. It's not that deathly stillness that comes with impending danger. So aside from that nightmare in the back of your mind, your rest, your watch goes pretty ordinarily.
He'll make sure while he's asleep that he stokes up the fire quite a bit.
Okay.
And in the brief amount of time that he has before he finishes the dawn, because it returns at dawn, can he pull out what's basically those little sparkle packets tossed in a fire to change the color of the fire?
Okay. It's still kind of the dark of the night because Alaris has last watch.
Yeah.
And you were third.
Yep, that's kind of cool.
But yeah, okay. You stoke up the fire, you pull out a packet.
Hold on, roll the d20 for it.
Yeah. Let's see what you get.
7. It's
It's-
standard.
You get a thing. You get one of those where it's just one color. Roll me a quick
It's
D4.
flour. It's the no, it's a small bag of charcoal. The color is the same as fire.
That would be if you rolled a 1 or a 1 through 6. Okay, D4 gives you 3. That would be a kind of an indigo between blue and purple.
Yep, he kind of looks at Alsana briefly and just, oh, I should be so proud that I'm fucking with all the people in the nearby town. He'll toss it in the fire, let the fire go blue.
All right. It actually makes the fire seem slightly dimmer, but yeah, you've got a kind of blue-purple
He'll toss
fire.
more oil on it.
Campfire. Yep. You get it roaring up nice and high, and the color is weird, and it lasts for at least a good few minutes.
Yep, then he'll wake up Alaris and just let Alaris see the blue and, like, just trying to get some attention here. And he goes to bed.
Yeah, someone down in the town would have noticed that one. All right. Noted for the
Alsana
future.
proud.
Alaris, you have the
Yeah.
last watch. It is the darkest part right before dawn. Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll your perception check.
Roll a perception check.
Mhm.
Okay. This is with sight, so do I get advantage with Eyes of the Eagle, or is it not quite with sight?
Technically, you would get advantage from that. And I've had you
This is
guys rolling
usually
flat
darkness.
anyway, so yeah. The thing is, the advantage cancels out once you get into dim light, but we haven't been really messing with that too much, so meh.
Well, except for
Yeah,
Alaris, because
and
he
I
can
have-
see through darkness. Because he's got the magical dark
And
side.
Devil Sight.
Yes, you've got a much longer range than most. 25! Okay. Very good, very good. So, on a 25. It's an hour or so into your watch. And you notice movement just on the furthest edge of your extended dark vision at 120 feet away. A little bit of movement coming through the forest and up towards you. It's humanoid in shape. It doesn't really seem to be like lurching or shambling, aside from that little bit of just the fact that someone is stumbling through the dark and on somewhat uneven terrain. And you see this person start to climb up the slope towards you. And you look past and you see another coming out of the forest. And then another. And then looming from the darkness, 2 pinpricks of bright blue light where there should be eyes as another figure approaches. And that is where we're going to go ahead and leave this session for today.
Fantastic.
So has everyone technically got their rest on that?
Everyone technically gets a long rest.
Cool. I just get my wild shapes back.
All right.
I just get my indomitable back.
Yeah.
And 6 HP.
I dare not use any spells yet. Any spells a lot like the before that rest because I expect
would-
them to get here earlier.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping you'd ritual Queen Nature once, but you know.
I guess I should have. Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
They-
until
we
next
found them.
time. Yep. I found you.
Same thing.
We lose over.
Pick this up in a week.
Also, honestly, now that I know the commune with nature, it'll once we kill everything here, it'll be a good way to check for stragglers.
That's true.
Well, till next time.
All right.